Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the European Technology Network. ETN is back. Let me tell you about Airwallex. Leave outdated business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business, multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all-in-one platform. Go to airwallex.com.
Hey, you smashed it.
Yeah, it's the European way. Style on it.
So close. Dudes, we have a banger of a show. And dudettes. We have a banger of a show. We have a special guest later today. Mr. GRITCULT is coming on the show. Our first anonymous guest is going to be good.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun one. I'm wondering how...
Again, everything's been popping. European tech is just literally like, it's like a punch every day. It's like bang, bang.
Yeah, it's flying,
all the time, right?
Flying off the shelf.
Every time we go live, there's just more and more to report on, which is always good. We're going to talk about entrepreneurs first. We have Johnny, one of the partners at EF, coming on in 15 minutes.
Slightly earlier than usual.
A little bit earlier than usual.
They're obviously super busy.
Let's just get them in. You know, we'll talk 50 minutes about EF, and then we can have him on 15 to dive a little bit deeper.
They're increasing shareholder value. That's what they're doing
as we speak. Then we have Revolut. They just got their UK banking license. It's been like 5 years since they tried to get it.
People are pretty pumped about that.
It's been a while. That was trending yesterday, and a bunch of other stuff.
We were trending
some
yesterday.
stuff like Nebius. We were trending yesterday. Thanks. Shout out to Julian Beck, partner at Sequoia Capital. For his amazing article. I've read it now 3 times probably.
It's still doing numbers. It's still doing numbers. I don't know what it's on right now.
I was emailing him last night, and I was like, "Hey man, like thanks so much. You're a machine. You're an impressions machine."
481,000. If you've not seen that, go check it out, guys. It's it's booming. We also have seen Vibe Coding's back. Vibe Coding is back. I don't know if it went. People say it did because of Claude, but it seems that the market says, "Hey, Claude."
Vibe Coding's kind of got a little bit of a weird
hold
name
on
now.
We're not out yet. So Lovable have announced that they are at 400 million ARR. They added 100 million ARR in 1 month, 300 million to 400 million. Their CRO spoke with Business Insider recently, and we're going to go through that piece as well. We also broke the news on X, and that ended up doing like 150k impressions. It was also on the X trending bar, which is always nice to see.
Let's go.
We've also seen Replit have raised 400 million at a 9 billion valuation. We're going to look at a few of those demo videos today of the new thing that they've released. The whole sort of launch is around Agent 4, and it looks like I have both. One of the launch video they did for the raise is 8 minutes long. That's more of a founder
story.
Hey, look at what we've done type of thing.
Let's get storytelling.
There's a 1 minute version of that as well, which I must say is very well it's very precisely done. And then there is also a 1 minute 30 like live demo in the platform clip that I only saw this morning. That looks pretty cool. I'm trying to work out what the big change is, but maybe the demo video will shed a bit more light.
Well, talking about launch videos, should we look at EF's launch video for the 1300 mil?
Let's get that up.
While you get that up, Framer, build better sites faster. The all-in-one platform where enterprise teams design, build and ship production-ready websites. No dev handoff, no bottlenecks, no creative compromises. Go to framer.com/ETN. Here we go. We're on.
This is EF. So just like a bit of a preface. This is Alice, the co-founder. Today we're announcing at Join EF Series D, 200 million of fresh capital at a unicorn valuation. We're in a golden age of entrepreneurship. More individuals than ever before are taking the leap with the world's most transformative technology at their fingertips. For those who maybe aren't familiar what EF is, it's I guess the best way to describe it is like in many ways, it's like another YC. And like you go in there, it's an accelerator. You meet your co-founder. They've got some amazing companies that have come out of there. Barney from Clio being one.
Poly AI.
Was Poly AI? Yeah.
Poly AI.
No way. You love to see that.
Yeah. Big up Poly AI.
So cool. But some absolute beasts coming out of there. This demo video will obviously show a bit more to that. But Alice says, for over a decade, we've backed extraordinary people without asking what idea they're working on. We call this talent investing. And then, specifically, they are very well known for their talent investor network. They have some roles specifically for sourcing and finding future talent. Again, you don't have to necessarily have an idea that's set in stone. They'll bring you into the accelerator. They'll bring you into their like quite literally physically bring you into the building, and you can meet people, other founders, share ideas. What are you working on? And by the end of it, you usually come out with a check and also an idea to run with.
And 2 years ago, they did a big push to get, I think it was like it's a 12-week program to get people into the US and bridge the gap between the US and Europe, which is a great thing to do. I think it's awesome.
Yep.
Should we watch the video?
Let's do it quickly, and it works. Companies built through EF are now worth 16 billion, up from 3 billion at our last raise in 2021. Anyway, without further ado, here is the demo video.
That's how Simona felt when we first met her, and it's how many of our founders start. Today, EF has raised $200 million of fresh capital.
You'd love to see it.
There he is, Barney.
We
200 million.
for the world's most talented and ambitious individuals to build companies from scratch. We provide the capital, peer group, and infrastructure to give you the best possible shot at building something worthy of your ambition. We accelerate your path to
Good
finding
editing.
your life's
It's
work.
clean.
Take Barney. Today,
Barney, there he is.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
change the world's relationship with money. Clio just passed 350 million in ARR and has grown to a 500 plus person team across London, New York, and San Francisco. Take Simona. Today, she's building Radical.
Let's
an
go.
AI cancer doctor that gives every patient access to world-class cancer expertise. She's just raised a $5 million pre-seed from Koza Ventures.
Boom.
Since 2015, we've invested in individuals at the earliest stage, typically pre-team and pre-idea, helping them build companies like Clio and Radical, now collectively worth over $16 billion. Our latest funding round comes from some of the world's most experienced founders.
Love
and
this
investors,
tune.
including
Who do you think the they're the people that came into the round are absolutely bonkers. I've listed them out.
Oh yeah, I can see them there.
Jeff Dean and Matt Kohler, alongside leading institutional investors including Greylock. We're grateful for their trust and excited to keep backing extraordinary people before the world knows their names.
Boom.
Boom. Look at that.
Entrepreneurs first. Here
Love
we
to see
go.
it. And then some of those names. Look at that.
Johnny Clifford is coming on the show in just over 5 minutes time. It's going to be good. I'm excited. But we should jump in. So yeah, as you mentioned, the portfolio is now worth over $16 billion. In 2022, which is the last time EF raised, the portfolio was $3 billion. So huge jump. Basically, so they've raised 200 mil, 130 million I read is designated for the management company rather than the investment fund. So we'll have to ask a little bit more about the details of where the money is going. But yeah, the backers of this round are wild. Reid Hoffman, John and Patrick Collison, Eric Schmidt, Claire Hughes Johnson, Charlie Songhurst, Danny Reimer, and Greylock. Are like the big names, which is absolutely bonkers. So congrats to them. There was an FT article that came out that we can read. A Sifted article.
Yeah.
It reads, Entrepreneurs First crowned a unicorn following their $200 million fundraise. EF founders are moving faster than ever thanks to the relocation of Silicon Valley, says CEO Alice Bentnick. Let me just go down. Are you on the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first bit basically sums it up pretty nicely. 2 years ago, UK founded company builder Entrepreneurs First made a bold move. It asked all companies that made it through the first stage of its talent accelerator to move from Europe to the US for at least 12 weeks. It's been a big shift in strategy and attracted its fair share of eyebrow raises, but it seems to have paid off. EF has raised 200 mil and reached a $1.3 billion valuation to double down on its strategy to act as the bridge between the US and Europe, says CEO and co-founder Alice Bentnick. Now, we were going to get Alice on, but I believe she's in SF and couldn't make it happen time-wise, I don't think. But we have someone equally as cool. We have Johnny.
We spoke to Johnny before, haven't we?
We have spoken to Johnny. He hasn't come on the show. We had Matt on the show quite early.
Yeah, that was pretty early.
Maybe like 4 months ago.
Yeah, about a month and a half, 2 months in. That was a great conversation. I like so the unicorn valuation thing, right? Like it's not it. I think they've come out and said like we're approaching this not as a fund. You know, we are a company.
Yeah.
And that bridges into their talent network, which I think then comes on top of like the management fee side, right? Like how are we meant to sort of support it? Because their network is huge of people that they've got. It's like insanely cracked, like young individuals that are just kind of dotted around all like the major hubs of Europe and also in SF. trying to find the next Barney from Clio.
The next Barney.
The next, the next
Barney recently moved over back to London after basically winning the US pretty much. I assume he wasn't part of he was at EF earlier than that, but yeah, I don't know. He must have been at EF earlier than 2 years ago when they did the Silicon Valley push. I think he started in London and then was like, I think I can go and win with Clio specifically in the US earlier, build a conviction there, and then move over eventually. I think it took him 8 years.
He's been building for a while, yeah. I think Clio have a large majority of their team in the US, a very large majority.
Yeah,
I remember when I was at Pigment, I had a deal running with them.
Oh, really?
To sell them some pigment. Yeah.
Didn't go through.
Yeah, didn't get over the line, unfortunately. We can ask Barney.
Yeah, we can ask. We can ask Barney.
What financial planning analysis level?
Their portfolio is pretty bonkers. It's got Jensen, which is LA based, Clio, obviously now UK fintech, and probably US based, but now Barney is in London. So I assume building the team out here. Aztec, CoMind, which is awesome actually. I didn't realize they were into CoMind, and Poly AI.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's nuts. James Dacoum. I'm not sure how I pronounce
James
this.
Dacoum.
He follows the show. Yeah, James, if you're listening to this, I've reached out to you, and I'd love for you to come on the show.
Please, James.
Yeah, I can see you following. You've been liking a few of our
he's
posts recently
following.
as well.
He's following.
Hopefully, we can make it happen.
He's there.
Our people will reach out to your people.
Indeed.
Our people is me.
Nice.
Last line from this. I just want to bring this up. This is from CEO Alice. We underestimated the impact of giving teams access to American customers, she adds. They move so unbelievably fast in hours and days, not weeks and months, which sets the pace of the company. Which is a brilliant thing. Speed matters. How can we go
Speed
faster?
does matter. However, I do want to ask them what they think now the difference is, because obviously this is a fairly recent article, but it's very recent article, but we're seeing when we spoke to the founder of Decagon, he was like, yeah, these enterprises in Europe are closing deals as fast as the guys in the US.
Yeah.
I think it's beginning to become a lot more of a norm but basically everything is just becoming more globalized, and therefore it's just becoming quicker.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to be like a default standard for those who are, I guess, chronically online, sit within.
It's just globalized. Everyone knows the kind of global speed, and I assume, that gap is kind of becoming smaller. The bridge is becoming smaller, essentially.
Yeah, I think as a rule of thumb, enterprise companies that are based in Europe, enterprise / legacy as well.
Yeah. Do
tend to move slower.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but definitely, I think at this bottom layer of seed, pre-seed.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, before we have our first guest on, leave outdated business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Go to airwallex.com. I think we have Johnny in the studio. Johnny, can you hear us?
I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. We can. How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you very much. Yeah.
I bet it is, Johnny. Congratulations! What an awesome day.
Yeah, it was a great day. It's a long time in the making, a lot of hard work, and we're excited to start deploying.
I bet we just watched the launch video. I call it a launch video. The explainer vid. We thought it was awesome. It's very in right now, I think, especially the style that you guys have done. Whoever worked on that,
your editing is actually on point.
It's super clean.
We've got a fantastic in-house marketing team. Shout out to Max Sonson and Valentina, who are just doing God's work for us. Absolutely
amazing. Good stuff.
So the raise though, let's talk about why 200. There's a unicorn valuation attached to this, which was I think is an awesome thing to see. It was slightly surprising for me to see, but I understand that this is. I think I saw a post. I'm not sure if it was from Matt or Alice, but we approach EF. It's like a company, right? You guys have a very unique strategy of this broad network of talent investors. It works very well. Maybe just break it down for us.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that the way to think about EF is we are a company with a venture capital business model, right? Like I guess unlike a traditional venture capital firm, we take money onto our balance sheet and we invest off our balance sheet. And we don't have your kind of like standard 2 and 20. We are also trying to scale and grow. We've got like very ambitious growth targets. I guess unlike traditional VC where you're kind of like trying to look for the deals that are out there and compete to win the best deals, we're about trying to make new deals, right? We're trying to trying to create companies that wouldn't exist otherwise. And so I guess we're in a kind of like TAM expansion kind of play where we think there are more great companies that could exist if you just like backed people pre-team, pre-idea. And so given that, you don't want to kind of constrain yourself to a classic like VC structure because, you know, LPs want to know that like you're going to do things in a certain way for 3 years and be like, you know, somewhat traditional with what you do, whereas we want to be able to do a bunch of experiments, which you've probably seen a bunch of announcements about the kind of experiments that we do to try just to enable more great people to build great companies.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's so early at the funnel, right? Like the thing you mentioned there in this TAM expansion world, you guys aren't like it's such a unique model because you're finding good, capable people pre-idea.
Yeah.
So within that, my question is like, what does a really good person look like for EF? Like as a EF partner, who do you get most excited about when you? And it is there one.
Brendan's trying to get into EF.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Great. I mean, please apply. I'd love to chat. There is like if there was just like there's one exact type of person that would make my life quite easy. But I think there would be probably many more people doing this because it'd be kind of easy to identify people. Look, I think we have a bunch of things that we've developed over the years, like criteria for like what do great founders look like before they're founders. And you know, very often what you'll see is that these are people who have kind of consistently tried to outcompete their peers. They are people that have not necessarily followed the kind of conventional path that's been laid out for them. They're people who have been able to get other people along on like their journey in whatever that journey looks like. And they're people that are just like highly smart, highly capable, right? But like I say all of that and it's like, but very often they've just not pointed that in the direction of building a company, right? They might have pointed it in another direction, whether it's like, I like built this like philanthropic thing while I was at university, or I like did something that was like somewhat kind of entrepreneurial, I like sold stuff online, or I built this like, you know, I kind of like ran a massive like online community when I was young, but it doesn't look like building a venture scale company. And so it's, I guess EF's whole thesis is that like, kind of like using like technology entrepreneurship is probably the best vehicle for very ambitious people to have like an outsized impact on the world. And yet, if you look at like here in the UK, it's still pretty culturally abnormal for young people who are very ambitious to go and do that very early on in their careers, right? Like me and my team spend a lot of our time going around campuses, and it's, you know, even if you go to like universities that feature in the world's top 10 universities, which you know the UK is very fortunate to have many of those. Still, their graduates are like see the ambitious career path as go and get the quant job, or go and get a job working in a big lab, or go into finance or professional services rather than let's go start a company. And so it's all about like how can you identify that like excellence, ambition, drive, determination that hasn't been pointed in a company direction yet, and pointed in the like, hey, there's this thing you can do instead, and you can do it early on in your career.
Yeah. I want to double tap on the university side. What's the EF's been around for a while. What are the differences that you see from kind of at the beginning to now in terms of people starting companies? I feel like it's becoming more apparent that more people are just, you can just go and do things, right? It's becoming a thing. The London ecosystem is kind of in this renaissance period where there's so many people kind of building. So talk to us a little bit about that and about the excitement for UK specifically.
Yeah, 100%. I think that like the UK look, I've been at ES for a decade, and I've been in startups for nearly 14 years, right? Like when I started working in startups in 2012, 13, like the London startup ecosystem was very different to what it looks like now. And it's incredible now. And we've got some of the most like important companies that are being built in the world being built from here, which is fantastic. I think that like it's certainly become more legible than it was 10 years ago for young people to think like, yes, I can start a company. But if I compare that, obviously, you're aware that EF takes all of its companies that we fund out to San Francisco, and therefore, like everyone who works at EF spends like a significant amount of time in the Bay Area. We're still probably 2 orders of magnitude fewer people trying to start things here than there, right? And that is not a talent gap. That is just where is my ambition pointed at gap. And so I think it's like it's come on leaps and bounds in the time that I've worked in the UK startup scene. And there are a lot more people when you go to universities now that want to do it. But I still think we've got a big gap to close together.
Yeah, I feel like a good indication of how things are changing. I remember when I first went to SF and I was walking down the streets. Must be like a year and a half ago. You can literally pass conversations and you can hear like agentic workflow or like cursor for this or like X for X or X for Y. And it happened the other day in London when I was sat down and I was like just walking past and I could for the first time ever.
Top signal right there.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
But I do think this is true. I do think that it is changing in London, and I think that's fantastic, right? I think I'm very bullish on the UK, and I'm very bullish on the talent in the UK, and I think that if we can get more great people building great companies, and then kick off that positive flywheel, that's only going to be to do like more and more for the ecosystem for sure.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
I wanted to ask about the 200 mil. So I read 130 million is capital designated for the management company. Talk to me a little bit about that. I'm just intrigued about what where specifically is this kind of capital going?
Yeah, so the bulk of that capital goes into our management company, but as I mentioned at the top of the show, we then like do our investments off our balance sheet, right? So the bulk of that capital is going into paying, like doing the like first investments into people before they've even know what they're working on, and then into our kind of like pre-seed checks into the early teams that form. It also goes into our OPEX. Yeah, I mean, like we have like versus traditional venture capital, we have like much higher OPEX. Like I've got a team of people that are going out and just like trying to meet people constantly. We work with lots of people that don't end up building companies. We have to have like big office space so that people can start working with each other and figure out who they're working with and what they're going to work on. So we have about like probably higher costs up front. Yeah. But
that's kind of like a research.
The majority of that capital is going into investments.
Sorry to cut you off, but in my mind, when I'm hearing it, it's kind of like a research and development budget in a way, like because you guys there will be a few misses, as you say. You don't work with every founder. Maybe every founder doesn't come through and they end up building a company, right? But they're coming through and they're in your space, like they're using your resources, right? But exactly, I'm guessing that's just how it goes, right? So
and I think look, baked into every VC, but especially early stage VC, is that you will have a lot of bets that go to zero. Probably though, in traditional venture capital, most of those bets that go to zero take at least a couple of years for you to kind of like write that investment off. For us, that might happen in like a couple of weeks or a couple of months, right? Like for the small kind of like talent investments that we're doing in people, like that'll probably be a good portion of those. Just like, hey, it just didn't work out. Like it didn't work out this time, and so you kind of like write down to zero stuff quite quickly. But yeah, I mean, like as I said, I think that the other thing with like having the capital in our balance sheet is that it allows us to move fast and do things that like a traditional venture capital fund wouldn't be able to. So 2 years ago we made this decision that we were going to open up an office in San Francisco and take all of our startups out there, whether they started in London, Europe, India, wherever. Everyone's going to go and spend 3 months there. like you can't do that if you just have the like management fee of a traditional fund. You kind of like have a like quite a thin operating cost base to deal with. You know, we've now just made the decision we're going to run a residency program out in the Bay Area for Europeans called the Bridge. And again, like we can make bets like this because we have this capital on the balance sheet. And I think again that the other thing with EF is that we kind of just feel limited, not by the capital that we have, but with like how many great people can we get to come and do this job, be talent investors, like learn the craft of finding really great people before they have an idea and before they know what they're going to work on, and say, I'm going to back you now. And so my bottleneck is actually finding more great people who can do this job, because the more great people you have that can do this job, the more people you can invest in, and the more companies you can invest in. And so that's our kind of like bottleneck on scale. And so I'm hiring. So if anyone's listening and they want to join the team, I love meeting people that resonate with what we're trying to do.
Nice.
So cool.
It's such a clever model and so unique. I love it. I want to touch on the portfolio. Back in 2022, when you last raised, your portfolio was $3 billion. Now it's $16 billion or over 16. Talk to us about some of these companies. I saw. Obviously, you have Clio in the portfolio. You've got Poly AI in the portfolio. Talk to us about some of these companies. They're just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, Clio is definitely, a big name in the London scene and has been going from strength to strength, right? Like, they're now at like 350 million ARR. You've got companies like Poly AI, which I think just got named as the fastest growing company in Europe, or one of them. And then we've also, we've got like I think we've now invested in 5 unicorns. We've also got, what's also exciting to me is that in the last 12 months, we've seen companies that we've recently invested in, both like get invested in by some of the best investors in the world, like coming straight out of EF and raising up to $15 million in their first round, like from funds like Founders Fund, Benchmark, Khosla, Sequoia, Index, who are all just like backing EF teams straight out of EF. But also some of those teams going really fast to Series A. And so what's really exciting to me, especially in that kind of like in the last 2 years since we've taken teams out to the Bay Area and got to experience like what speed looks like there, we've seen teams go from like revenue growth from like the fastest company I've seen have gone from like 0 to 5 million revenue in 12 months, right? And raised the Series A in that time period as well. So I think that like the portfolio is really strong. We've got lots of exciting companies at kind of like all different stages. EF's, been investing for 10 plus years, but the bulk of our investments have really come in the last like 5 or 6. And so you kind of have this lag where the early cohorts of, when I joined EF in 2016, we'd run 6 cohorts ever, and they'd all been in London. And so we had a very, very tiny portfolio. That has like rapidly expanded. I think we've now run 90 globally, and done a couple hundred investments. So I think you see this kind of like lag on. We knew that it was working 5 years ago when we last raised, or 4 years ago when we last raised money, and then you see the lag 4 years later when those companies start to grow, right? Like all of a sudden, and was it slowly and then all at once? I think.
Yeah. It's
so cool.
It's cool, like that. The thing you mentioned within that, these cycles are getting shorter. Like companies are hitting milestones quicker, whether it's an ARR metric, whether it's a seed to A, and it's also kind of become like the venture companies kind of expect it as well a little bit. The numbers that were impressive 10 years ago aren't really impressive anymore. They're kind of like, oh, is that it? But what you've been at EF for so long, 2016, a decade now. What are you seeing changing, like in the cohorts, in the people that you're speaking with? Like, are you seeing like a reflection of that sort of expectation on the ground as well? Like, are people moving quicker? Are they building quicker? Like,
yeah, I definitely think things are moving quicker. As in, like, if I go back a decade ago, it was very rare for any EF company to have revenue when they went to demo day after 6 months of being with us. Now at an EF demo day, and the next one will be in 6 weeks, the like average amount of revenue they've got is like a couple of 100,000, right? And like even if you rewound like 3 years ago, I would have said that's wild, right? So I think the I think that there is just like EF's whole thing is that like you kind of just get capped by the like people that you surround yourself with, right? And the like the ecosystem that you're in, and what you think is possible and what great looks like within that bubble that you're in. And so if you can just like expand what you think of being possible, that like raises people's level of ambition. And so I think 100%. What we've just observed is that like, you know, if everyone's going to a demo day and not making revenue, cool. Like that's the kind of like norm. That's what I do. And then actually 1 minute, everyone I'm surrounding myself with is doing a couple of $100K in revenue. And they've only been working on this idea for a couple of months. Well, you know, I got to get on that level. And so I think like what I see is just like really great, ambitious people, will revert to the mean of like who they like spend time around. And so if we can push people to be more ambitious, that has knock-on effects for everyone else who then comes through EF. I think that's probably the biggest change I've seen is just both like on the micro level of EF and then the macro level of just like what's possible in the world. You're seeing founders raise their own levels of ambition for their own companies.
Yeah,
awesome.
100%.
Which is a great thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time.
I hope to do a trade deal with you soon and swap caps.
Yes.
You know,
let's do that.
You know, we need to do this at some point.
Let's definitely sort that out. We have one right here. You can have this one.
Oh, fantastic. I've put my name on it. All right.
Cheers, Johnny. Have a great day, man.
Be in touch.
Ciao.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
What a gangster.
Yeah, you love to see it. 200 million. You love to see it.
Love it. Leave our data business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform.
Go to airwallex.com.
Boom.
Just flowing today, isn't it?
It's flowing. It's flowing today. Okay, so we have half an hour until our next guest. Let's talk about Revolut. Revolut, after 5 years, weirdly, Sifted said 4 years. No, Sifted said 5 years.
Yeah, I saw someone else say 6 years.
Yeah, Sifted said 5 years. FT said 4 years. Someone else said 6 years.
What is it? What's the number?
What is it? Who knows? We'll have to ask Nick himself when he comes on the show tomorrow.
Our people will reach out to his people.
Hopefully Nick comes on the show one day. That'll be a good day.
I think I saw a thing where he just doesn't do
he doesn't do very many.
Any pods.
No. Well, he's in Dubai at the moment. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
He came back, didn't he?
Revolut has secured its full UK banking license after, as the FT says, a 4-year wait. Permit is crucial to growth strategy of Europe's most valuable fintech. Do you want to read out the FT article?
The Bank of England's Prudential Regulation Authority, which regulates lenders, has lifted restrictions on the authorization it granted 2 years ago. Revolut said on Wednesday, confirming an earlier FT report. The license will allow the fintech to lend at scale in the UK and push into lucrative markets dominated by traditional banks. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze.
The first sneeze on the show ever.
Is that first sneeze on the show?
I think so.
Let's give it up for the first sneeze. First sneeze on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Love to see it. From the top. Revolut, which has 13 million UK customers, has been in an extended mobilization phase during which time its banking division could hold only 50,000 in total deposits. That's nuts.
Yeah, now it does.
I did not know that.
I think. So basically the delay for the license was obviously like a major barrier, but more so because of the international expansion. Basically, overseas regulators were waiting for the UK to give it the green light. Now it's kind of like, as Johnny just said, it's like nothing and then all at once, right?
Yeah.
So
it's coming.
They have, I think, I thought I listed out the countries. I want to say I did. Give me a sec.
Yeah, well, good. Well, so Chancellor Rachel Reeves tried to broker a meeting between Revolut and PRA officials last year, but was thwarted by BOE Governor Andrew Bailey. Andrew, what are you doing? Who thought this was inconsistent with the regulatory impartiality. The FT had reported, that's from a previous report. Revolut already had a Lithuanian banking license.
So, talking about the portfolio. Our good friend Max Karpis on X, he wrote, if you go on the show notes.
Oh, this guy is just constantly.
If you go on the show notes, it is status of their license portfolio.
Okay, let's get it up.
Done it. Anyway, I'll read it out while you get it up. Revolut banking license portfolio. Full banking licenses in Lithuania, serving all of EEA, Mexico, which is their second one, and now the UK, which has been just announced. Revolut has also applied for banking licenses in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, France, Colombia, Argentina via acquisition. I don't know what that acquisition was, Peru, and the US. Possibly they've applied to the Philippines, Canada, and Switzerland, maybe more. I assume they would have applied to Switzerland, I assume, because of the banking culture out there. So many banks are.
I love money.
So many banks are in Switzerland. I assume that's.
So this guy, Max Karpis, he does not stop tweeting about.
He works at Revolut.
No, he doesn't.
He's not.
No,
he's a Revolut maxi.
Yeah, he doesn't work there. Levels.io recently.
He's an early Revolut investor.
Yeah, but look at his page. It's all Revolut. Every single tweet he does is Revolut.
Yeah, I know that because I thought he worked at Revolut.
So he Levels recently like retweeted one of his tweets and added Revolut and was like, "Can you guys just hire this person already?" And then Max responded like, "I've applied for like a social media manager or like a comms manager role." And got rejected instantly. But he didn't attach a CV. He just applied.
Well, he's just a name next to 1,000 names.
Yeah, true.
If he put his ex on there or LinkedIn, dude, he would have been hired straight away.
Yeah, do you think? I mean, they must see it though, right? This has 103,000 views.
But they don't do much.
Yeah, they're kind of like let's just crack on.
As soon as they post, straight off the app. I reckon they post, log out.
What do you think? Oh, that's pretty gangster. I post.
Only log in.
Phone on airplane mode. Turn it off. Go for a walk in a field. Come back.
Touch grass.
1 million impressions.
Yeah.
Well, we can get up what they had on their announcement post.
So just to quickly say, so they have actually, yeah, you do that.
Just because it's like I can't remember what
I've
it
got
did.
A few bits after that.
It went nuts. Where is I think is that the.
That's X News.
Yeah, I can just click this here though, and then.
So Revolut
they've done a new post since.
We are now officially
funny.
a licensed bank in the UK. As a bank, we'll soon offer accounts protected by the FSCS up to £120,000 per person on eligible deposits. It also means we'll be able to launch more banking features in the future. By the way, a credit card. So keep an eye out for updates. They obviously wrote a thread because they're back in.
Yeah, well, I've got the
back stuck in
UK
2019
banking license.
Go on then.
Tweet they did. That's it.
Yeah.
4.1 million.
Yeah, wild.
4.1 million.
Yeah, because the actual announcement only did 260,000 views. The next post is we'll gradually begin the process of rolling out current accounts to new customers next week. Existing customers will be notified soon on when we will begin to transition their accounts to the new bank, and their app cards will continue to work as normal. Revolut is not a bank in all of the countries it operates in. Products and features availability varies by region. And you've got to visit Revolut for more information. But in the UK specifically, obviously UK banking license, they have 13 million customers alone, which is bonkers. Wow. And basically the license allows for two kind of main things, unrestricted lending and the protection of customer accounts. So obviously we talked about the protection of customer accounts, FSCS. But in terms of unrestricted lending, that is like a huge market that they've never been able to tap into. So Revolut can now basically start lending to all of its 13 million UK customers. Basically, lending markets were previously dominated by like traditional banks, Barclays, NatWest, etc. And now Revolut are kind of sweeping in. I think Lloyds came out with a statement saying they want to be the biggest bank in Europe, or the UK specifically, I can't remember. But they're going to have to now compete against Revolut, which obviously has this kind of huge open banking, behemoth of a distribution engine now. Yeah. It's a kind of a play, but it probably is the right time. It's been 5 years, been a long, long time, but it's a it's now the right time to just literally take everyone. So they're now exposed to that lending market. They also have authorization for consumer credit services, which clears the way for them to launch a credit card in the UK. Bye Amex,
Revolut,
etc.
Klarna, credit card, buy now, pay later.
Boo.
Let's get.
I think
let's
they've
get
already
some,
done. I think they might have already done it.
Oh really?
I don't know. I have no idea.
BNPL, some Deliveroo. You've seen those like in the States where it's like I just Klarna'd my. What's the States equivalent to Klarna? Do they have one? I'm sure they obviously do, but I can't remember. I don't know if it's just Klarna or not.
I'm not sure.
But like these people,
Klarna's
like,
share price is very down.
Yeah, they're not having a bit of trouble in the public markets. But like those posts where it's like I just Klarna'd this like McDonald's on Deliveroo to my house. It's just like, come on, what are you doing? Back to the point you mentioned
probably don't buy.
Yeah. Literally, like, what are you playing at? On the point you mentioned, like the FT says Revolut's rise has posed a challenge to more traditional lenders such as Barclays and NatWest because of its slick banking app and ability to draw in a younger generation of customers. They have done a very good job on their branding. It seems like premium, new, futuristic, but also kind of tapping into both. Like younger generation, but even like, slightly older generation. Barclays chief CS Venkata Krishnan said last year that Revolut had benefited from its lack of a UK license, which meant it did not have the same obligations to depositors as fully regulated firms. Interesting. Revolut said that as a UK payment service provider and now licensed bank, it has always abided by the same regulatory and consumer protection standards as any traditional bank or other financial institution. I mean, this is just overall.
They're now going to have a ton more regulation, obligations, I guess. But it means that they can get into markets like the lending markets and consumer credit, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, look, congratulations to Revolut. It's finally happened.
Boom.
You'd love to see it.
Talking about another company that's smashing it, Framer. Build better sites faster. The all-in-one platform where enterprise teams design, build, and ship production-ready websites. No dev handoff, no bottlenecks, no creative compromises. Go to framer.com/ETN. Should we move on to Lovable?
Let's do it. So this is like, we've got a bit of a vibe coding comeback. We'll start with Lovable.
Have we a comeback?
Well, I mean, Replit 400 at 9 bill.
Oh, I've just gone on the X News and we're at the top. Love that.
Yeah. What's the post on?
198k. If we can get to 200k by the end of the day, by the end of the show, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great, guys. But is vibe coding making a comeback? So, I mean, just generally the narrative recently has been a little bit negative around the vibe coding apps, predominantly because of like the creation of Claude Code. It poses a question of why should I be using that? Is it just like a nice shiny front end? Are the capabilities even better? Like I can just do it in Claude Code essentially. Yeah. So that the defensibility has been a little bit hazy, I'd say. But what we've seen recently, you could apply the same argument to the likes of Cursor. They went a little bit quiet for a while, then came out and said, we've just passed 2 billion ARR. Like they've quietly just passed 2 billion ARR. Like it's a pretty incredible feat. I'm thinking maybe in the same premise, we're seeing another example of that here with Lovable, with Replit alongside as well, in the sense that Lovable has added $100 million of ARR in 1 month, according to their CRO. We have a few different articles.
Net new ARR.
Yeah, net new ARR going from 300 to 400 in 1 month. This was a Business Insider article. We're not going to pull it up because we just have a bunch of them here, but let me just read a few bits from that. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. But essentially, Lovable's revenue jumps 33% in a month as the vibe coding app has taken off. So the CRO for Lovable, Ryan Meadows, basically sat down with Business Insider and said that we've seen this 100 million ARR jump. This is off the back of they've been making a fair few plays for growth in the recent month. I think Anton's been doing a few rounds as well. We already know how incredibly sort of affluent they are on social media. And yeah, this was, I think,
active.
Active. The overall vibe from the responses to our post, which, as Luke says, has like 150k impressions. Like there were a number of replies there asking questions. People are wondering. I think it sums up the whole vibe coding market at the moment based off the responses in the thread, because it's kind of like people are asking, is this ARR or is this annualized revenue? People are asking like, what's the churn rate? People are asking like, is it just net new signups? Other people are saying, this is how we over-index on news in our space. We have such short feedback loops that, yes, maybe we think that this might be a moment where like these new vibe coding apps don't really have a defensible moat, but for the greater like community, not even just within tech, like they know who Lovable are. Like Lovable were a globally known company for quite a while. They were making a lot.
They have a huge US.
So they broke out of the tech native sphere, and I think a lot of their customers
also now running out of home ads.
Yeah.
In the New York subway, I assume somewhere in SF, on the London tubes.
They did a London takeover, didn't they? They did a tube,
and they're still going.
I saw one on the tube. I didn't see their big. When it's like on the wall of the station, not on the tube.
No, So they do it on. They do it in. They're doing it in the tubes. I mean, there's a good just kind of summary here. The Stockholm-based startup founded in late 2024 by Anton Osika and Fabian Hedin empowers non-technical users to build apps via vibe coding with an AI model like Anthropic's Claude. Reached 100 million ARR in 8 months, doubled to 200 million by late 2025 after a $330 million raise at a $6.6 billion valuation. Now eyes $1 billion by the end of the year. With 200,000 daily projects and doubled active users. Then Akash Gupta basically put a post out, and he said he questions if numbers reflect true recurring revenue and high churn concerns. Investor Keith Raboy praises its P&L as the most impressive in his career, and recent updates deals with clients like Klarna and HubSpot bolster its path forward. So there's back and forth. Right. And obviously, so I think Akash reposted our post, basically said, on the surface, this is the most absurd revenue ramp in European software history.
There were a lot of errors in his post.
But there's a number of Lovable, there's a number of Lovable is never disclosed. And
which is true. But, it's typical of most private, it's a private company, right? Typical of most private companies. But he does mention that they have 40 employees. So he's just literally pick it up, chuck it in the slot machine, whatever it feeds out, plaster it on X. And I noticed today, that day he'd done another 15. So, and I think Keith actually replied to his post wrong. Which is super funny.
Get the Keith wrong stamp.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, wrong. But there were a few.
I think they're warranted just purely because of the insane, almost is this too good to be true type thing.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to Anton and the team that they are just an incredible powerhouse of revenue generator. Yeah. Obviously, we talked to Elena on Tuesday, and
that was an awesome conversation.
That was a really, really cool conversation. And I mean, having Elena as head of growth, you're gonna win. She's an absolute gangster.
I think it's 15 years veteran, maybe more. I can't remember, but in the conversation with Business Insider, Meadows, the CRO, said it's accelerating quite a bit. We've doubled the number of active users daily just in the last couple of months. Lovable now boasts over 50 million daily active.
I understand that. Doubled
15 million daily active users.
Yeah, bonkers.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
What was GPT?
GPT was last 800 mil
a week. It was 800 mil a week. So, yeah, I mean that. Wow, because that would be 105. That's 1/8 of GPT's numbers.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, this is maybe 3 months ago, I think, when that number was reported. Mm-hmm. But that would mean that they'd be doing, 105 million weekly active users.
Yeah.
Which would mean, roughly more than 1/8 of GPT's numbers 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
That's an insane amount of
I don't know what GPT's numbers are at the moment, but
they're probably like higher than what they, well, maybe not
billion?
actually. Maybe,
they would be they'd be scraping $1 billion now, I think.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. Which is also like
can't be 1/7 of the world. I mean, how many people are on Earth now? Is it more
8
than
billion? I think. 8 or 9.
We're at 8. Where are we at?
9 billion?
Can we?
8 billion.
Where are we at? 8. We're at 8 billion. So 1/8 of the world is on ChatGPT.
How many people use the internet?
Don't know.
Anyway,
these are all great questions. Yeah.
Anyway,
not sure.
we can use ChatGPT to ask. Let's talk about Nvidia. $2 billion deal with AI cloud provider Nebius, another European powerhouse. The AI chip giant continues deal making spree that deploys huge cash reserves into funding its own customers. The deal Amsterdam-based Nebius announced on Wednesday follows Nvidia's significant investment in Silicon Valley-based AI lab thinking machines a day earlier. The lab also struck a chip supply deal worth several billions of dollars. Nvidia also took part on Monday's $2 billion fundraising of UK cloud startup Nscale, which relies heavily on its chips. Such funding arrangements with Nvidia's own customers have drawn concerns about circular financing. This is just becoming like broken record in the industry as the AI chip giant deploys its massive cash reserves into funding its own customers. Jensen Huang kind of came out and said, quoted, AI is at another inflection point, agentic AI driving incredible compute demand and accelerating infrastructure build-out. NVIDIA's chief executive said on Wednesday, he said also Nebius is building an AI cloud designed for the agentic era. It's awesome, obviously, to see European company kind of being, being in these deals, right?
Yeah.
That $2 billion deal is
their stock ripped off the back of that as well. Obviously, whenever Nvidia waves their magic wand at one of these smaller providers to do a deal with them, and then like your stock will rip 15%. Like we saw that on the stock price looking at Nebius last night. It is when you make that quote, like AI is at another inflection point, agentic AI driving incredible compute. Yeah. Like obviously this has been reflected in the capex of, just taking like the Mag 7 as an example with these insane numbers that we saw that kind of shocked the whole world. I remember seeing a thread around it. It was like more money has been spent just via that capex on compared to the moon landing, it was something like 100x more than the moon landing or something insanely nuts, which is at the time like one of the biggest technological revolutions globally. This will be the most amount of money ever deployed in like a single sort of like venture point, right? And what I think is interesting is but what's interesting is so horizontal, right? So many people are building with it. So much money is flowing into a very niche thing that horizontally so many people are building. Whereas like say, the moon landing, there was obviously only just one project. One thing. Not that I'm not discounting what you just said. I'm just saying like, are you a moon landing conspiracy theorist? No, you don't believe it happened. It's just not really part of what I care about. I care only about Nebius's $2 billion deal. It's very important news. All I care about. News. I think like it's the capex investments are obviously a response to just generally AI being in demand, the world can compute necessarily. But then we also have this. Then we have like agentic AI. Which obviously just adds volume and adds interest and adds like more energy and more money and everything. But we're kind of starting to see now like this agentic world as well, right? I think, and we'll discuss it later on the show, but like Ramp just announced, I think Ramp just won the agent wallet, like agent payments economy, basically just in one announcement today. I've got the demo video, but it looks really cool. But that's like another world as well that we're kind of discovering right now. So yeah, it's almost like, yes, that's a load of money. Are the estimates enough for what's going to happen over the next few years? I don't know, but it's almost like in a weird way we're kind of undershooting, which sounds nuts because it's the most money ever deployed in anything ever. But I can't help but think that there's about to be like this agent on agent world where who was we were chatting to. And it's essentially describing the fact that like a lot of people are still focused on building software, which is a great thing, but a lot of people need to start focusing on building software for agents. And we're seeing
there's too much on the UI, not the back end, allowing agents like the infrastructure. Not enough on the infrastructure. Agents will never need a dashboard, for example. Agents will never need the UI or whatever. You know, like software maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like, you know, Elena said, it was all about optimization, right? You know, landing page optimization, where do the eyes look? How do you make things easy for people to buy, to navigate, to build on, whatever. Now, like, that's being stripped out. You will know optimization is no longer like important. It's only integration. That's it.
And some people like Paul Graham, there are two companies that have caught my eye recently that are operating within that space. One is they're building Gmail for agents. I forget the name of the company, but they did a launch video yesterday. I think it went pretty viral.
Yeah.
Paul Graham had tweeted out a few days prior to that announcement. I just met with the founder, and we didn't even bother estimating like the future valuation of the company or the future TAM of the company, because it would just be pointless. It will be the most valuable company ever in the world. And then it came out that it was these guys building this Gmail for agents. And the opening like part of the launch video is like, this isn't AI. This isn't like agentic AI for your Gmail. This is Gmail for your agentic AI, which is the first, not first, but maybe there are more, but like the first, well, an example of like the step that we'll start seeing over the next few months. That's people will start building specific custom software for agents to interact and whatnot. And obviously Ramp is now doing, you know, this sort of like wallet infrastructure for agentic commerce.
Yeah.
We also
Coinbase are obviously saying...
Yeah, Coinbase are massive on it.
But also, what was that tweet that we talked about on Tuesday where it's like, no one's built, like, no one can realize or people aren't putting enough attention to the fact that agents can't use banks. They cannot use banks. And therefore the only other option is on-chain.
Give it a wallet.
Put it on USDC.
It's good to go. Or,
Indeed.
Fartcoin, maybe.
We have 2 minutes until our next guest on the show. So Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market. Stay informed and profit from your knowledge. You can see them in the Chiron down the bottom. They've been popping off as well on X, which is always fun to see.
Always popping off on X. What did I wanted to chat about the Replit raise super quick.
Yeah, quickly.
Still on the vibe coding world. But Replit had raised 400 million at a 9 billion valuation. They did release a demo video. They have a launch video, but they also have a demo video. I want to get the demo video because it's cooler. Amjad has done a post about this here. I've not actually watched this yet.
This is the 8-minute one.
No. This is just 1 minute. I don't know if he has sound, but it's basically like an up close look at like within the platforms. He says it's really hard to describe the joy of multitasking over a canvas powered by parallel agents where all your assets are laid out for you to work with. You have to try it. This does look very, very different just straight away off the bat from a typical vibe coding platform. It seems to be playing around with multiple sort of UIs, multiple different devices. You've got iOS app, the web page here. Like that is a definite step change, and I think this is basically a sneak peek at Agent 4, which is what the whole launch essentially was around. We can also maybe watch this small. This is the 8-minute one.
Okay. Just quickly breaking, Demis Hassabis has tweeted as of half an hour ago. He's London maxing. He says, London has incredible talent and an entrepreneurial spirit. Thrilled to deepen Google DeepMind's roots here with our spectacular new building, Platform 37, literally just down the road right now. A nod to AlphaGo's legendary Move 37. It's a tribute to science and AI and an inspirational space for our next big breakthroughs. That's cool.
Dude, that Move 37 is like the coolest thing.
He's posted a between the breaks, I'll put it into the chat.
Oh, wait, I have it here.
Oh, you have it here?
Yeah.
Do we have time? Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Go.
It's nice to get some music. There's King's Cross. had many a coffee on that grass. They open it up there in the summer, with a little.
So our office is next to this.
Green. Yeah.
If you ever want to come find us.
Just a Fora, by the way. Go to Fora.com. Very cool. There it is, the legendary Move 37. We can get into that maybe
Love
a little bit
to
later.
see it. We have our next guest on, but before that, leave our outdated business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business, multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com. I think we have our next guest on the show. Yo, can you hear us?
Ooh, I can't hear you.
Oh dear.
I have a problem.
We have a technical issue.
I
can't hear Aiden. Is Aiden in the live stream?
Just going to check with our producer real quick. Oh, I can hear you now, maybe.
Excellent. Is it good?
Yes, let's go, dude.
Aiden, how's it going?
Fantastic. Very well. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Thank you very much for joining us. Super pumped about this conversation. I think maybe, do you want to start with an intro, who you are, what AI Apply is, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah, pleasure. It's awesome to be on. Absolutely love what you guys are doing. London maxing, bringing it home.
Let's go.
So I'm Aiden Kramer. I'm co-founder CEO of a company called AI Apply. We are building AI infrastructure for the job market. And right now we have a personal AI recruitment agent that serves nearly 2 million job seekers, helps them find relevant jobs from across the internet and be the first person to apply. We're kind of submitting close to 2 million job applications a month, getting tens of thousands of interview requests and a ton of people getting hired. So it's very exciting, got a very good team, just enjoying things.
I love it. I love it. I want to jump in first. So you wrote a tweet a few weeks ago, I think it was, Feb 24th. I've got it up now. You probably know the one. It has 1.8 million views. You said 900,000 people graduate each year in the UK after, below 10,000 jobs for the UK graduate market. Can you talk to us a little bit about the graduate market and where you're seeing it is now? I assume you have obviously a lot of, you see a lot of insights, right?
Yeah. The job market is really bad. We're trying to ring the alarm bells, but no one seems to be really listening. That stat is insane. So graduate job listings, lowest they've kind of ever been, like COVID level lows. 10,000 listings, 900,000 people graduating this year. You can kind of see where that tidal wave of disruption is coming. We're not really seeing it change. And that kind of is being reflected up the seniority ladder as well. Companies are just not hiring or they're letting go. There's more people actively looking, kind of out of work, being laid off than we've seen before, which is, means demand for kind of our products is through the roof. But where that trend kind of ends up is a little bit concerning. On top of that, we're looking at maybe 10 million job listings a month, and we're indexing them, we're analyzing them. Close to 30% of those listings online are either straight up fraudulent job companies, multi-level marketing, or just data harvesting. So even the people are looking at in terms of job listings and available positions, you can cut those by 30% again. So it's looking pretty tough out there, especially for people into their first job and recently entering the market, but also people kind of up the experience ladder.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, we've chatted. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, where do you think that where do you think this is going to go? Do you feel like more people will? I don't know. In my opinion, I guess I'm an optimist, but I see that as an opportunity for more people to go and start companies, go and build their own thing. But obviously, 890,000 people can't go and do that. But yeah.
So our kind of higher level mission is to provide the kind of the fluffy line, but it's providing meaningful economic opportunities to human workers. And I think that kind of says what we think is going to happen. Work in its current form is going to change a lot over the next 24 months, 3-5 years. So finding other ways to generate income and find meaningful economic work is going to change a lot. I am an optimist as well. I think we'll get through a period of disruption. People will find other ways to find meaning and find economic opportunities. I love the idea of everyone spinning up kind of their own open clause that go and find and make money for them. it's kind of all to play for at the moment.
Yeah. It's something that's come up so much on the show. I think when the block layoffs were announced, that kind of catalyzed a discussion around the topic of AI and the job market. But what was so interesting to see was how the market responded, like the financial markets responded really positively to that. And it was the largest S&P 500 layoff of all time. It was something like 40% staff reduction in a single swoop as well. It wasn't like, let's like stage this out, stage one, maybe a couple of people, stage two. It was just like bang, gone, 40% cut. And the markets responded positively. It was up like 23%, the stock, which is, I don't know if that's worrying or good. I'm not sure.
I think it's a worrying signal for like these big tech companies that if they make these drastic changes that signal to kind of the Wall Street and the market that they are going AI first, they're kind of removing human inefficiency, that they're going to get kind of rewarded with a market pump, because we know what's going to happen next. More companies are going to get very vocal with these layoffs, and that's going to have a trickle-on effect to smaller and smaller companies that are saying, right, we need to act on this as well. And I think we're seeing it in the data before kind of it's making its way to the headlines. So yeah, I think it's the catalyst, and a very public one as well.
Yeah. I think you're right saying it's all to play for, right? It's there's just, who knows? No one knows what's going to happen. I wanted to touch a little bit more about the product. I saw that you guys have an AI interview buddy. I wanted to ask about where you guys help with the kind of whole job market in terms of helping someone get a job. Talk to me about kind of like the way you guys are using agents and AI to help people in their interviews, applying, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so one of our first products was Interview Buddy, and it was kind of this real-time interview support. We had some content that went super viral. This was pre-Roy Lee. At me, bro.
You're a London Roy Lee.
I don't know if I'll take that. I'm wearing. But no, our first product was, okay, what can we do with AI that's really interesting? One of them was kind of helping people during an interview, very high anxiety moment for people. So we had a tool that kind of listened in on a call and gave people real-time responses during an interview. Went super viral, got us a load of users. We realized quite quickly that it's like actually not that great as a product for an interview. Like, you're conducting an interview, then you don't want to be reading from the screen. It's not good for the interviewer as well. It's just kind of a net negative. So we kind of pivoted that. So it just it's more like a granola type product that gives you feedback after an interview. We then use that data from your interview to further inform like future job searches. So if you perform really badly in an interview, but we're applying to loads of jobs that are relevant to the skills that you said you had, then we can kind of adjust our algorithm so we're finding better matching opportunities for people. And that's kind of where we see it trending. This cheat on everything is just not in anyone's favor, company or employee. So yeah, we're kind of changing our positioning a little bit there.
Yeah. I saw when we saw the response to, and you've probably seen his recent video that came out where he's kind of reacting to like him fudging the numbers in TechCrunch. A post around that was like, company invests in tool for cheating on everything. Founder is found to be cheating on his ARR metrics. Like, everybody's shocked. It's such like a ridiculous moment. With zooming back out again, just I guess talking broader on the market. Do you guys see trends in job popularity as well? Like, is that something that you guys have come across? Like, is there a new, I know software engineer is fallen from all-time highs, but is kind of coming back a little bit. We're starting to see like agent roles. I think Red Cat Revenue posted one a few months back that went, a couple of weeks back that went viral, where it was like, we're hiring for an agent. It's 10K a month. But then at the bottom, there's a little caveat like, or a human. There could be a human that built the agent or whatever. Are you seeing any of this stuff come up or?
Yeah, for sure. So we're tracking a lot of like keywords and job trends, and you can see kind of requirements for like being agent native, like OpenClaw, Claude Code, and stuff like that, just accelerating up. Really like the Revenue Cat kind of listing for hiring an actual agent. Definitely see that accelerating, right? Like there's going to be cases for specific agents that you can kind of plug into your workflow. But before that, there's going to be a pretty meaningful period where people are hiring like individuals to come in and build agents for specific use cases within like the product stack. So whether it's kind of like product testing, optimization, SEO, like pricing, these are all things where, you know, you can try and build like broad agents, but if you go very specific, you get better outcomes. So definitely going to see that accelerate. Going to see people that have been early adopters of this, like definitely get ahead. Would encourage everyone to start playing around with, you know, OpenClaw, Claude, building agents for different workflows. Because yeah, it's definitely the way things are trending.
Yeah. It's weird how quickly that catches on and starts to get mentioned in job descriptions as well. Like I remember when Lovable first launched, like yes, everyone was kind of hyping over it, but then what was cool to see, and I think they used it as a marketing technique as well when they started spotting it, where people were hiring for roles and like Lovable experience or experience with vibe coding apps in brackets Lovable is required. Which I think is usually a pretty bullish sign that the company's pretty got their ear to the ground. Maybe they're quite fast-paced moving. They're kind of understanding and they're in like a reactive mindset of where the market is going, I guess. But like, yeah, I guess when we see that with OpenClaw, that's going to be pretty. Well, we already are, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's funny because we first start seeing it on the likes of Upwork, you know, for like low-skilled work that can do this at scale and like know how to use these hacky tools. And then when it kind of crosses into like more mainstream and later adoption, then we start seeing like major companies hiring for a requirement with these skills.
You touched on it a little bit, but I'd love to just hear from you, you know, the advice that you have for a graduate leaving university, you know, this year or whatever. Obviously you mentioned kind of like just play around with these tools, but is there anything kind of specific that, you know, you see employers like look for that they want, you know, built? I think, you know, Mark Cuban is a huge proponent of just go and be almost like an AI consultant for so many of these different companies, especially, you know, service industry. These people aren't, you know, using AI. They still kind of pay with cash type thing, right? And it's like, if you can go into that business and help them modernize themselves with agents, you're in an amazing spot. What would you kind of say to that?
Yeah. So like 4 or 5 years ago, companies put a massive premium on like grads because they knew how to use computers basically, and we're definitely like much more, you know, people want AI native young talent to come into these like legacy businesses, but I think these legacy businesses are going to have to like move very quickly if they want to catch up, and they've got a long way to go. I think my advice to anyone kind of entering the job market or being grads is just try and make like your first dollar online, just like advice you'd give to any entrepreneur. Just use the tools available. It's never been easier to kind of set up a business or start a SaaS product. Plug it all together, try and make your first £1 online, $1, whatever it is, because that shows that you understand like, you know, customer lifecycle, marketing, growth, like how to use these tools, how to connect up Stripe, and just that learning is an invaluable skill set. And it's also a bit of like an emotional unlock. Once you know that it's possible to make money from strangers online, you kind of get dragged into that rabbit hole, and it's addictive.
It's addictive, yeah.
That's so true.
What was your first dollar online or pound online?
So strangely, like it was kind of pre-drop shipping, selling office chairs. I had a really annoying boss, like at a estate agency. He was really tight, and he asked me to buy some office chairs for the company. And I spent like 2 weeks trying to find a really cheap supplier. And I found this supplier that was like, I don't know, 50% cheaper than everyone else. And I was like, oh, maybe I could just list these on eBay for twice the cost. And if anyone buys them, I'll just go to the supplier and buy them. And yeah, at uni, that was doing like, I don't know, 10K a month. And I was just manually submitting.
No way.
It was crazy and very distracting, but quite fun.
Office chair arbitrage. That's so sick.
Graduates, you heard it here first. You know, there's a massive opportunity in office chairs.
That's so cool. No way.
A niche go boring.
Yeah. Indeed. So true. Dude, we have 1 minute left. Where can we send people? Where can we push people? Where can we try and get some attention on?
Love some more followers on X. That would be cool. Had that.
Let's go.
Was very addictive as well. So yeah, follow me there, Aidan Kramer, and check out aiapply.co. We're also launching some talent search, which is cool. So companies hiring, we're giving free access to over 80 million job seekers. So that'll be cool as well.
That's good.
Awesome.
Aidan, thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good
Go
stuff.
on, dude.
See you
Ciao.
soon.
See you in a bit.
Awesome stuff. Before we have our next guest on, leave outdated business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business, multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all-in-one platform. Go to airwallex.com. Okay, we have our next guest on, I believe.
We got Johannes and Camilla in the house, the founders of Founders House Helsinki. The recently launched in February, guys.
Guys,
how's
can
it
you
going?
hear us?
Yeah, good to see you.
Can you hear us well?
Yeah, we're good.
Loud and clear. You guys have news. I guess it's not really breaking news anymore, but it is news. It's very recent. This is just in February. Founders House has launched in Helsinki. Can you just explain to us what's happening? Break it down.
Yeah, for sure. And for having us. So obviously you all know that Founders House was launched in Stockholm around a year ago and became kind of a phenomenon, center of gravity for the Stockholm startup ecosystem. And now, a few weeks ago, we launched the concept here in Helsinki, even bigger and better than ever before. And obviously we want to host the best startup founders in Finland, in the Nordics, in Founders House Helsinki. The goal is that these people will found the next Supercells, Volts and Auras of our time. And yeah, we aim to be super highly selective on the people we choose here and try to create a really talented, dense place in the city center of Helsinki.
Nice.
Love it.
Let's
Love
go.
It. You guys are working with some pretty big hitters, right? EQT Ventures, Cherry Ventures, friends of the stream. Talk to us about working with these people and what they see kind of the opportunity in building out Helsinki specifically.
Yeah, I mean in Helsinki there is a lot of talent, but still the ecosystem is kind of scattered. And our vision here is to build this national team of founders. So we see and say of the 0.01% founders talent here, and then give the extra support to them. I mean, we're giving free space for them for 6 months. We're helping with fundraising. We're helping with recruiting customers, etc. So when you give that support to the absolute most potential ones, then there is the chance is higher that there is this next Auras, next Volts, next Supercells will come here. And we had also Ilkka Paananen from Supercell, the founder here in our launch, and I think he felt the same energy.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
And to add the names you mentioned, we also have Lifeline Ventures here in Helsinki supporting us, and some other funds as well, and Illusion, which is the family office of said Ilkka Paananen and Niki Kuusi, the founder of Volt. So we have really powerful funds and people backing us. And when it comes to the launch, we were kind of surprised even how much international people we were able to fly in from London and Berlin. All the big funds flew in for the launch to see our ecosystem grow and to see the founders building here. So, well, we all know this, but Nordics, we definitely think Nordics is where the next wave of companies, big scaling startups will come.
Yeah, one great thing was also that we noticed that the politicians are acknowledging the fact that we need these companies in Europe. We just need it. It's a geopolitical thing also. So we had the Minister of Foreign Affairs here also talking about it, and a lot of member of parliament. So we have the government also on our side now, and we're ready to go and make this big company.
You got the government on your side. You've got the OGs. You've got the veterans of the region. That's awesome. Can you maybe explain? So the process of the application, also what is happening whilst we're there. Is it sort of like I'm in residence now and I'm working with people around me, and maybe there's a few cool demo days, and maybe just the life cycle of someone coming through this.
Yeah, sure. We have an open application at all times on our website because we don't really believe in these batches. When you need to found a company, you need to do it now. So the application is open at all times. And what we look at when we screen these applications is excellence. And what we mean by that is that you have been excellent in something you've done previously. It can be sports, it can be mathematics, it can be that you played the piano, you were really good in school, whatever you say. But we are looking for these outlier founders, if you will. And then obviously we're looking for people who are ready to scale global day one. So the ambition level needs to be there. But when you are chosen here, I mean, we're hosting now approximately 15 teams here in Founders House Helsinki, and when you're here, the average time you are here is 6 months, and we provide obviously our networks when it comes. We help with talent, fundraising, of course, customer acquisition, and so on. But what is maybe different to compare to other accelerators or incubators or whatever you say is, first of all, we don't take any equity. That's same in Stockholm, no equity taken. So you can start your fundraising from a clean slate. And then secondly, we don't have we have a lot of events and so on, but we don't have mandatory workshops. Like we don't have those like how to do up your pitch deck and how to start your GTM and so on.
Yeah.
These people we admit here, like they are way mentally they're way ahead. Yeah. So maybe those points.
And maybe like some concrete examples of the people who are in teams who are here. Now there's like exited founders, one ex-unicorn founder also is coming here. And then Elva, this actually ex-CEO of Wave Ventures, also Antonia Ene, Forbes 30 under 30, and there's like ex-Unity people in the team. They launched this week. Yeah, it was this week here. So the talent level and the teams are like absolutely stellar.
Yeah, they're crushing. That's so awesome. I guess like what, and then within the cohort, do these people like when it's like Founders House, are they living in this house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't provide beds, but obviously sometimes you have to work for a long time, and then you might do an all-nighter. But that's not the thing we do. We're just giving the office space for free, and then there is like these event places that they can host events. But yeah, no beds.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably a good thing. You don't want like 30 people just sleeping on the floor. I mean, I'm guessing you probably do get some people just crashing out because they've probably pulled an all-nighter or something. That's so funny. What do you guys like? Is there a trend in what you're seeing right now on the ground where you are? Is there a certain type of company that people are excited about? Like Luke and I were just speaking about how people are starting to build software for agents. We're seeing people create sort of like Gmail applications for agents. People are creating wallets for agents. Is there a particular thing that you guys are most excited about that you maybe would like to see founders come and build at Founders House Helsinki?
Yeah. Like I would say that there is no two things. Also the same here with agents, and I'm really bullish also that like that will change the whole future. I believe in this agentic economy future. That's like a really probable thing. But then also these things that when this change happens, what will happen then, and how do you bring solutions into that? Like for example, one team here is building this. It's so complicated. I can explain it well, but it's in the problem area of when you push, let's say Claude Code created you code, you push that, and then you're just wipe coding and pushing everything in fast pace. But then what is there? Like, we don't know what kind of integrations did it do to outside sources, etc. So then building automatic system to check that everything is good, everything is correct in cyber secure sense. And then they're also patenting it. I mean, they are deep in the like, in that tech. So that's one thing. Like, what happens and what solutions are needed when this agentic change happens in the whole society?
Yeah. That's a really cool one, because we've seen like I think an example that I saw, especially with all the OpenClaw stuff, was people were kind of pre-programming in the like dangerously skip permissions input so it could run autonomously instead of it coming back and asking like, hey, can I get access to this? Or like, hey, I need you to check if I can do this. But people are now sort of like building software around, I think maybe Claude actually released something specifically where you can have a mode that is just automatically selected on dangerously skip permissions. So we're already seeing like okay, yes, this is probably going to happen. What are the first, second, and third order effects of that change?
Yeah, for sure. But there is also like building these agentic workflows. I think there is still a lot of agentic layers for some verticals. Like there is a lot of possibilities there. And let's say now, for example, Elva building this agentic layer for relocations. So when you hire a person, let's say from US to Finland, there's a lot of manual paperwork, but you just put your agents to do the work. So that helps the HR ladies are saving some hours there. But yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
also, one company,
sorry.
yeah, sorry.
No,
One
you go.
company building agent for ERP systems, which are super complex, and might many of these companies might have like hundreds of thousands of products that they are putting into the ERP systems. So, I mean, many of these industries we are in a bubble because we feel that this change is coming really quickly and you need to move super fast, which is true.
Yeah.
But many of these industries are like they are way behind. Like so there is so many opportunities, and this is literally like the best time to build.
Yeah.
And what about the going back to something you mentioned earlier that we kind of moved over, but the no equity element of this. So you guys don't take any equity in the startups that come to Founders House. What's the thinking here? Like, why was this? Because it's atypical, right? Like that's not. I think most of them, if not all of them, will typically take equity.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we are a non-profit. Founders House Helsinki is a non-profit organization, and we're funded by many of the ecosystem players that were already mentioned here, which we are fortunate in. But I mean, that thinking just comes from the fact that, how to put it nicely, maybe the best founders, like they are, especially in the early stages, like you don't want to give away 6% or 10% of your company when you know that you are building something that can scale in a few years and become get the revenues of hundreds of millions and like grow in valuations really fast. So obviously you don't want to give away your equity, especially to like an accelerator. Then you of course you want to choose who you want to come to your cap table. And I think it's maybe something that some of the founders don't maybe understand, that if you want to build a startup in the VC world, like your cap table is super important. Like who is there, why are they there, how much they own of your company, and then obviously if you want to scale, you want to make sure that you haven't diluted yourself from the cap table as a founder. So that's where the thinking comes from. I think it's quite clear. Obviously, we're fortunate that we have these backers that we can run this for free for the founders.
And in a nutshell, we wanted to build a place which is a no-brainer for the best. Like we're located in the dead center of Helsinki, in a really good place with really nice views. Also, you have to come here and check those out. And that's for free. There is even free coffee, free snacks, like everything is free. Then the talent level here is super high, so you learn from your peers. Like I've been in lunch discussions, like how do you build your agentic systems, like sub agents in Cloud Code, and like you learn a lot. And that's just, I'm really bullish on this. Like these companies will do something in the future.
I love
That's
it.
That's so cool.
What have you, or what have we got, to come up to be excited about? What's the, what does the future look like for you guys, in the next few weeks, months, and for the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, our plan is to obviously like host the best companies here. That's what we've talked about, and we have already had 2 launches in the past few weeks, so more to come in terms of companies launching. Then obviously we're gonna host many events here. It's gonna be hackathons, it's gonna be panel discussions. We're in talks with some of the best founders in Europe to travel to Helsinki and do discussions with us. So that's you should tune to that. Reason to not travel to Helsinki, I would say.
There you go. You heard it here first. Where can we send people if they want to get involved? Just go and chill. I don't know where. Your website and everything else.
Yeah, Founders House Helsinki. If you just type that into Google, you should probably find it, and also in LinkedIn. And then you can always shoot us a message. LinkedIn is the easiest one, and then we'll try our best to answer, and like it would be great to have international talent also flowing here, because here we are trying to just build Europe and the Nordics. Like that's the thing. We want to see great companies coming from Europe.
Awesome. You're doing God's work. Thank you so much, and thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
See you soon. Awesome stuff.
Johannes and Camilla from Founders House Helsinki.
Proper God's work. Freema, build better sites fast. The all-in-one platform where enterprise teams design, build, and ship production-ready websites. No dev handoff, no bottlenecks, no creative compromises. Go to freema.com/ETN. We need to work on that, Freema.
We're getting there.
I'm getting there.
Next guest on the show is coming on.
We've got a bit of time. We've got 15 minutes.
15 minutes from now. It's the CEO of Wordsmith AI. The fastest company in Scotland to get to 100 million valuation.
Boom.
Ross
Love
McNair,
it.
CEO, founder, coming on. 15.
We had a few bits to talk about, but I think we should go into the town square because we only have 15 minutes left. Let's start from the top. This is so jokes. I love this tweet.
What's this one? What have we got?
I was seriously laughing out loud. I'll read it out. I might be wrong, but national parks will solve our data center crisis. Obviously, I don't want to destroy them, but Arches National Park, for example, has all the space under the arches. We could easily throw a few server racks there without destroying the natural beauty. I'd even argue it's more beautiful due to shareholder value. Has anyone else thought of this, or should I patent it? 230,000 views. James Hawkins, congratulations for the banger. That's a great one.
He's not wrong.
This I assume this is AI generated. But this AI-generated picture of just a server just sitting under an arch is so good.
But you can see quite clearly from the photo that it does fit under that arch.
Yeah, it looks good.
Like, I can see it. Like, you could maybe even fit another.
I reckon you could fit one behind it as well.
Maybe on top of that. By the looks of things.
Yeah, James, get a bigger server under that.
And there's also this room here in the front as well. That we, maybe
that we could have more shareholder value.
Yeah,
So
James Hawkins, he's always dropping some bangers. To be fair, day in day out.
I wanted to do a bit of shilling of Attio as well.
Attio shill.
Someone quote tweeted one of Attio's launches. So Attio launched. Attio launched Ask Attio. I think how long ago was that? Maybe like month or two ago. It was this year, right?
March 10th. It says on the video of we're launching Ask Attio.
Oh, 2 days ago.
Wait, what?
No. Launch 10th. They launched in Slack. Yeah.
I thought I was doing something great there.
Yeah, no.
When did we had Nick on?
We had Nick on. I think it was to launch.
Yeah. It was
to launch Ask Attio.
Ask Attio.
Anyway. So they launched this, a few months ago, but it's now in Slack. They launched that 2 days ago on March 10th. Ben Wallace quote tweeted this and said, are any of these, in quotations, ask line rollouts even valuable? Sounds like things customers say they want when they really need a chatbot that connects all systems of record. Claude Connectors is agnostic. I don't need to bet on Attio or any SaaS as my one and only database. Thankfully, Nicholas Sharp, he put us all out of our misery and explained why. He said, we're pretty agnostic about how people interact with Attio. We just want it to be easy. For a lot of customers, having Attio in Slack is super helpful because it has Attio-specific context and prompting that something like Claude doesn't. That makes it better at answering a lot of CRM questions when we also lean into MCP, API, etc. So we'll meet customers wherever they want to work. I think Nick is he's pointing out a very clear moat and use case for SaaS products like Attio, where kind of similar to what Gokul was saying, where like they're building their own very specific system of record, and therefore when they integrate with partners like Slack, they can pull all of that stuff of a system of record, and not that Claude can't, but it's hyper specific. It's very tailored to what you're doing, and I also think like you don't have. Like having one thing for everything is probably great, but like I assume like, I don't know, having Attio kind of just manage that part of the workflow, I think is quite a reassuring thing as a workflow, on a workflow perspective.
I mean, if you want to talk to your CRM, you want to do it in the CRM.
Exactly.
I think the cooler part of that is, and I don't know why we don't see more of this, but
and the fact that Nick, replied to that is great.
Yeah, that like founders on X it's such a huge advantage that when we talk to people and like kind of advise them a little bit on their like content and media strategy. One of the big things that I just find insane, and I think we mentioned it on the show before, but when we see these companies, and I'm not saying it's urgent to do for your company to succeed, but like it's a pretty good idea to have an X account for the company, have someone running it, because it's just a great way to engage with your audience. Mm-hmm. It's a great way for the founder to talk to users very quickly. which we like example that we just saw, like that person is getting a reply from the CEO and the founder of the company on X. Like it makes them feel a bit more appreciated. It makes them feel a little bit more valuable. It's a great sounding board for what your customers are thinking. It basically tees you up on a really easy level to one, do great marketing. Purely being on it and responding to these people is just good marketing for the product anyway. But two, it's a direct line into your customers.
Yeah.
When we were at Convergence, 100% of our customer acquisition was done on X, basically. There was no other channel that we used to try and to get signups. And if we had a problem or we wanted feedback on a feature, we'd just ask on X.
I mean, when we had Tyler Denk on the show, that was a huge opening. And he said on kind of our other podcast, he said, just do the simple things. I ask questions on X. I'm active on X in terms of the way I post. Whatever I say kind of gets questioned, and that's just constant feedback loop of stuff. And I'm kind of 99% sure Nick runs his own X.
Nick's always dropping likes.
Mate, he's always dropping likes. He's always there.
Shout
Nick,
out
we
to Nick.
appreciate it. I wore my Attio jumper today, actually. FYI. Anyway, 8 Sleep. There's a tweet from 8 Sleep. This is awesome. Little job opportunity out here. 8 Sleep is hiring someone to run the night shift and travel with Team Emirates UAE across all 3 grand tours this summer. The Giro d'Italia, the Tour de France, and La Vuelta. All very big cycling.
Are they good? Are they good ones?
Yeah, they're all the biggest cycling.
I know Tour de France.
Giro d'Italia in Italy, Tour de France in France, and La Vuelta in Spain.
I've never heard of the other two.
They're massive. Anyway, the job: arrive at every hotel ahead of the riders, install 8 pod systems before the team checks in, break down and move to the next stage city. The other part of the job: document everything: the installs, the recovery, the quiet hours between stages, the story nobody gets to see. We're not looking for a resume. We're looking for someone creative, cycling obsessed, and in pursuit of a dream. That's a great line.
Wow. And there's a video.
Sleep company. Yeah, we'll watch it. Travel, lodging, and meals covered. Access, money can't buy. Apply now. What a cool job. Go and apply for the night shift if this is you, because this is a wicked job.
It's great marketing stunt as well.
It's so clever.
Let's just have a look at this.
Person to go on an all expenses paid trip with our partner, Team Emirates XRG. You'll be traveling across the 3 grand tours: Giro d'Italia, Tour de France, and La Vuelta. Introducing the night shift.
Night
Recovery
shift.
between stages is everything, and you'll be supporting their most critical nightly routine, sleep. You'll be setting up pods for Tadej Pogacar, Adam Yates, João Almeida, and the rest of the team. Get the deep sleep
Are they good?
Yeah.
for advanced recovery. You'll ride alongside the team, capturing content on behalf of 8 Sleep for the creative, cycling obsessed, in pursuit of a dream. Apply now.
That's so cool.
That's a pretty cool job.
Tadej Pogacar is he's one of the best cyclists ever to exist.
I watched that.
Compensation is pretty good as well. €1,500 a week. It's not bad.
Well, they put that in the thing.
Yeah,
you on the job?
I'm on the job. Yeah, might apply.
15K.
Might just sack this off and just go and apply.
€1,500 a week.
A week.
In fact, do they say how many weeks it'll be? Well, I guess how long's the thing? Oh, they're doing multiple races, aren't they?
Yeah, so they do 3. I can't remember how long the tour is. I want to say it's 8. No, it's 20. It's 21 stages.
Yeah.
So 21 days. So about 3 weeks.
Oh, they just do.
They do it every day. It's easily the hardest thing.
Oh, that's pretty insane.
It's easily the hardest competition in the universe. It's
you think?
Mad.
It's big,
because a normal human being. I mean, I guess a normal human being couldn't do that. Couldn't cycle every stage in 21 days. They have one day break in the whole thing.
And what in the on the 11th day, everyone just
I think it's a little bit later. I can't remember.
Plays Fortnite.
Well, they just chill. They sleep in their 8 sleeps. Anyway, rolling compensation. It says every rider on UAE Team Emirates already sleeps in on a pod at home. Your job is to make sure nothing changes when the race starts. New hotel, new room, new city, same conditions every night across every stage at the Giro, the Tour, and the Vuelta. You'll manage 8 pods, install them. I don't know how long does it take to install. Dial in temperature for each rider. Directly partner with the riders in their recovery and breaking everything down again the next morning. You'll also document everything. Which I think is like, that's a really hard job.
Yeah, that's a cool role.
Very cool role. Congrats to Etsy for that's a wicked marketing stuff.
That's going to be really cool when they drop that. Because, mate, you could get so
YouTube.
much. You could just smash that into shorts. You can make an Instagram page just specifically for that.
8 Sleep, UAE, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, props to Koi Fan, the executive creative director at, I assume, 8 Sleep. Really cool role. Really cool role. I think you're going to see more of this. I mean, 8 Sleep is such an easy way. Like, what other companies could do something like that? I mean, obviously, like Whoop or Aura Ring, I guess, but like,
Yeah,
you know, you're not
adjacent
setting
to
those
sports.
things up. So
It's like running shoes, anything sport related.
but the fact that you have to
Lycra
set
gear.
a bed up every time is the thing.
Yeah, you could have like a new
And they're
pair
like
of
traveling
shoes.
around Europe basically, and every single person's condition is.
Yeah.
Also, if Team Emirates UAE wins
Yeah. What happens?
one of those races, 8 Sleep's there.
Oh. I thought like they got loads of money. They get money, right? For winning.
Yeah, cycling. I think cyclists make a lot of money.
Do they?
It's the most watched sport in the world.
Cycling?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is.
What about
Search-
football?
Search it up. I swear.
You search it up.
Hold on.
That can't be right. If it is, I'll be blown away. I mean, I don't watch cycling. I did watch the documentary on Netflix though. That was really good. Of
Yeah.
I think it was the Tour de France maybe. While Luke is pulling up the cycling global watch statistics compared to football, let me tell you about Polymarket. It's the world's largest prediction market. Stay informed and profit from your knowledge. Go to polymarket.com. I'm quite intrigued to see. Before we press on, next guest is Ross McNair coming on at 12:45 UK GMT, which is in 3 minutes. Luke, over to you.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Because wasn't like, I don't know, for the World Cup, I swear. like
Okay,
half the
fine.
world watched it.
Okay. So so the World Cup is 5 billion. Tour de France is 3 billion. But
Tour de
remember,
France is 3 billion.
3.5 billion. But remember, Tour de France is every year. The World Cup is only 4 years. So the Tour de France often
Over
claims
4
the
years.
title of the most watched event because it happens every year, whereas the
Yeah.
World Cup and Olympics only occur every 4 years. If you're looking for the biggest event that fans can tune into annually, Tour de France is the undisputed king of the world.
And I guess times it by 4 for the 4 and then compare it to it still
21,
wins, right?
21 billion.
Wow.
12 billion,
That is
21
insane
billion.
to me. I did not know
There you go. Learn something new every day.
I did not know cycling was that hyped.
Yeah. Talk about something else hyped. Leave outdated business banking behind with Airwallex,
Airwallex.
the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all-in-one platform. Go to airwallex.com. We have our next guest joining in, I think it's 2 minutes.
2
Is
minutes.
that correct?
Yeah, some fun facts. Raised 30 million in total from Index, a 5 million seed and a 25 million A. We're going to be digging into...
Go on. Sorry.
Going to dig into AI at the intersection of law. Ross McNair is previously... He is a former lawyer who turned into a tech executive.
Oh, yeah?
So he made the switch. So it's going to be interesting to weigh up both angles.
Oh,
you know?
so annoying. We've got so many good tweets. We might have to stay. I want to do the Europeans when World 3 starts, but it's August.
Let's do it quickly now. Let's get that. I've not seen that one.
So good.
What's that? Europeans
I'm
when
just
World War 3
highlighting.
starts, but it's August. Oh, that's brilliant. I know this guy.
This song is so good. It's the way he shakes hands at the end.
I see.
Did a great job.
Does that do anything? Like what? Like
2.4 million views.
No, that's very good.
Oh, it's from a Europe Maxi kind of account.
Yeah. This guy
in Europe, building GDPR compliant startups. 7 years in, 7K MRR.
He's
euros.
quite joke, to be fair. Some of those honestly make me laugh.
I really don't like them. Who actually hates them? There's
I think a load of people.
Oh, Andreas Klinger has Andreas Klinger posted his most recent launch video, or when he announced the new fund.
Yeah.
All of these like Europe Maxi accounts started like reposting it and quote posting like whatever GDPR compliant, all of this kind of stupidness, and Andreas Klinger fought back basically and was like, "You guys go away, whatever. You guys should just stop using this app because you're just annoying me." So good.
Yeah, this guy Matthias has been pinging us a little bit.
Has he?
Some of the posts are hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Like that, there's that one big one that like Jorgen Henderson or something like that.
Yeah.
There's that profile is an affiliate of a US company who sell compliance software.
Yeah,
set that up and use them. It's actually genius, the growth hack they're using there. One of the ones that just made me laugh so much was like, it's like just met a founder in like Berlin or something. Like he's already smashed through an eye-watering like 1,000 euros MRR. Like I
like them. They're funny, but also like I really hate them.
Oh, I think
they just kind of double click on like you're being rubbish. It's annoying.
That's if you can't roll with it, then
if you can't deal with the heat, get out of the kitchen. And Zach DeWitt as well came out with a good tweet. That's below this one. He says, "Power move for founders when fundraising. Show VCs a demo. Flip between tabs and have presentations labeled for Sequoia. Get the FOMO going."
Wait, what?
I think that's so
Where's
good.
that one? I missed that one.
If you go on, it's just below. It's just below.
Oh, I think we have our next guest coming in. It's Ross. Ross, how are we? No, all good. Absolutely fine. Welcome to the European Technology Network. It's a pleasure to have you on. Maybe for the stream, if you could introduce yourself, what does Wordsmith AI do? We've got a few questions we'd love to ask you. We can go from there.
Well, I'm the CEO at Wordsmith. We are an in-house legal AI platform. So we effectively help corporate legal teams govern AI across the company and speed up how they work with everybody else. So I used to be the CTO at TravelPerk a few years ago. I've been largely based in Europe. I've relocated to the US this week. And we're growing quickly, and it's an exciting time to be sitting in legal AI right now.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, talk to us about the adoption of this. I mean, lawyers are now known for being major adopters of AI. It's the one of the industries that's moving the quickest to kind of get into the AI. Improve like productivity and everything. Talk to us about the adoption and what you guys are seeing.
Yeah, so there are kind of two use cases that are going completely wild right now. So it's coding and legal. And the legal teams that we speak to are just hand over fist trying to find ways to deploy this stuff across their business. We've been doubling quarter on quarter. We find that there's a massive amount of inbound interest, specifically because a lot of teams like the idea of something built just for them. There used to be quite a lot of dependence on external law firms where they would spend a lot of money on paying for ad hoc advice or things like this. And I think the benefits of AI come in the fact they can reduce that spend, and they come in the fact that it makes it a lot easier for them to get rid of backlogs and a lot of the mundane work that they were doing before, and get into doing what I think a lot of lawyers thought they wanted to do when they went to law school. So, there was always a disconnect between, people's vision of the job and then the reality of coming in and moving commas around a sentence or responding to ad hoc stuff from someone in sales for the 400th time again and again. So I think that the main thing from a lot of legal teams is they're just quite happy to get this stuff off their desk, and it's a genuine pain that's being solved, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to ask, so we had partner at Sequoia, Julian Beck on, and he wrote an article talking about the difference in kind of like the services industry and how for every $1 spent on software, $6 is spent on services. I wanted to ask how you guys are building Wordsmith in a fact that these lawyers you mentioned are outsourcing things. Is that where you guys are playing specifically? You mentioned that they don't have to now spend the money on outsourcing these things. He says that's where the opportunity is. Go and find where the budget is being spent to outsource it and just kind of replace yourself with those guys instead of having to build the software that they would just have to spend more on, I guess.
I think it's a good point, but I think it's a two-phase thing. So I think the first phase will be that teams bring a lot of stuff in-house and they sort of re-plumb what their workload is. And a lot of things that may have, or previously they would say go to an external firm to spend $3 million to run this entire project. They'll probably bring that entire thing in-house now, think about where it's going to go, and then they will surgically elect to sort of small snippets that they will send external and maybe spend, 5 little mini projects they will send out for 200 or 300K. So I think that they're right. There definitely is an opportunity to power the law firms, and I think that will be a category where you have new AI native law firms, and you get people that build phenomenal software for the law firms. But our decision to not service law firms was based on the fact that we are effectively going to be after their spend, and we didn't believe that it was possible to double dip. To service a law firm where you're taking money from the client on the one side, and then secretly on the other side you're collapsing their revenue stream. That just doesn't seem like a sustainable business model to us. So we decided, hey, we're just gonna row on one side of this, and that seems to resonate pretty heavily with the in-house teams that we've spoken to.
Yeah, and no doubt. I mean, you mentioned the growth rates. We mentioned previously like the funding from Index, 5 million at seed, 25 million A. A lot of attention on this market right now. A lot of hype around it. It's funny you mentioned like in many ways this is kind of like, I don't think law had the GPT moment when everyone else had the GPT moment, because just of the nature of the sensitivity of the documents, there could never really be any sort of collaboration between those two worlds, right? And yes, people could use GPT, but I don't think it could be applied in a function for law specifically at that moment. But it now feels like they are getting their GPT moment in a way with the packages of what you guys are doing and some other players in the space. Is that accurate? Is this kind of like the moment where we can finally use AI in law?
Yeah, I think part of it is an awareness point, as you're suggesting, but the other part is that there just is quite a lot of product that needs to exist on top of the GPTs for it to be truly useful for lawyers. And there is a genuine issue with ungoverned AI that just goes running wild around a company, or something that they just throw at a legal document, be that for a lawyer or be that for someone else in a company. So I think it's taken a little while for us to work that out collectively and find ways of injecting AI into lawyers' workflows in ways that doesn't just make it much more painful. So you're right. We're now at a point where it's gone from being a novelty into being an essential component of every single team's procurement cycle. And that is why you're seeing these companies just go completely wild and start to rip, because people are ready to buy right now.
Yeah. And it's great to see. It's great to see those worlds collide. I have a stat here. I'm not 100% sure if this was a quote specifically from you or it was just a quote from the space in general, but 90% of legal dollars still move through hourly billing. Was that
isn't that wild? Hey?
That to me is insane. What can you maybe just explain this a little bit more and just why is that happening?
Look, these folks are going to in real time have their business model deconstructed, partly by us and partly by others. But that just makes zero sense in a world of AI to sit and bill on a set of cycles that you're just not aligned with your clients. You'll buy technology, and then you will sit back and you will actively not want to deploy it because it will make you poorer. So the massive reckoning that is about to come is what we're collectively going to do to the law firms. And that is going to be quite a scary moment for a huge number of people, because it's not about AI. In fact, this one's more terrifying in the sense it's kind of in their control. They are electing not to change their business model right now. They're electing not to redesign their entire service architecture and go after a whole different set of outcomes. And some will, but I think that many of them will just be far too slow to get there. And that's where you're going to find a lot of those, the Sequoia gentleman talking about AI native firms. That's another way of saying a lot of people just won't transition quickly enough, and the ones who do will capture a lot of value.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on where agents are deployed. We saw so Anthropic came out with a graph basically saying like software engineering, 49.7% of tools are now kind of agent built by agents, right? For legal, it's 0.9% currently. Obviously, huge opportunity. We've mentioned about the huge opportunity. Where do you see yourself as a founder? And I think a lot of founders are in a position where obviously there's a huge opportunity. There is so much noise. Where do you kind of take, when you're working day to day, what do you focus on? What is the single thing that you're like, okay, we need to just focus on this and not kind of look at all of the other noise because it will distract us, if that makes sense?
I think it's such a good point. I know it's a curse of anybody being early in the space, and we are early right now. The curse of green fields kills products and businesses because you end up getting your terminal market wrong. It would be like if I was at Skyscanner before, and it would be the equivalent of us sort of coming out and trying to just dominate all bits of travel everywhere and everything from driving your car to when actually would have got the segmentation wrong, and we needed to build a phenomenal flight search engine, for example, and there would have been other competitors that took those different verticals. So I think about focus in two senses. I think about focus really, really, really heavily on the ICP that we want to be the best for over the next few years, and be disciplined about saying no to what are otherwise super lucrative opportunities. We had 7-figure deals on the table from law firms, and we said no to them because we wanted to be the best in this category, and we think that it's a conflict to do both. When it comes to the product and then what we then want to build for those folks, we are going to be very focused on reducing external spend and doing things that other people cannot do because they don't have that opportunity. So, if you think about that, we'll ultimately allow in-house teams to throw work into Wordsmith and say, hey, how much should this cost? How can you drive that cost down? And those sorts of things. And I think that razor sharp focus and the thing that makes us different will be the thing that helps us to win.
I want to touch on integrating products into these kind of, I guess, legacy businesses, but now law firms are just kind of taking as much as they can. We've talked to a lot of folks, as well in legal, but then also other industries where integration is the main focus. There's so much that you can go and do for these companies, but getting, I guess, an FDE, full deployed engineer, just sitting next to a lawyer in this case, building out workflows. How do you see kind of integration at Wordsmith, and what's the kind of strategy there?
I mean, the cost of software has got so cheap now that technical integration is not a problem, right? I was looking yesterday. The guys did an identity thing that took, I don't know, 4 hours. That would have taken, I think, did actually take the team about 2 months when I was at the Travel Perk, a few years back. So it was a kind of jumping moment. I was like, wow, really, that's sort of. I remember the sweat and pain of going through that migration before, and so I think technical integration is largely going to be commoditized now. Where the interesting bit comes beyond that is, the human integration of teaching people, as you refer to with forward deployed engineers. That is going to be a much bigger industry over the next little while, and there's such demand alongside our technology for people to sit down and teach them. So we've launched this legal engineering academy, for example. It's red hot. People just can't get in the door quick enough for it because they just want to learn how to use this stuff. And I think that is going to be a really interesting battleground now.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd love to see
interesting.
1 minute left on the interview, Ross. Where can we send people? Where can we point people? Where can we? Is like web page, X account, LinkedIn account? Where do we want to send people?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot on LinkedIn. We have a web page of it's wordsmith.ai. You'll find a lot about us if you follow us on LinkedIn. We're very active there as well. So
awesome. Ross, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Welcome back anytime. Great luck with everything as well. It looks like things are smashing it.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Chad. Have a good one. Ciao.
Cheers, Ross. Bye-bye.
Bye. Before we have our next guest on, Framer, build better sites faster. The all-in-one platform where enterprise teams design, build, and ship production-ready websites. No dev handoff, no bottlenecks, no creative compromises. Go to framer.com/ETN.
We got Jason Day in the house from
Here he is.
Luma AI. Jason, how are we doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, really well, thanks. We've been looking forward to this one. Thanks for coming on to the European Technology Show. It's the first time we've had someone from Luma AI on the platform. I didn't know, just quickly, I didn't know how many followers you guys had. Your social accounts are huge.
Popping.
We're on a bit of a run. So we've got some fans. We've got some great fans. We've been doing some great work, and people who know about us are really big fans. So yeah, we're doing pretty well.
That's awesome.
Insane. Awesome. So cool. Maybe just to kick things off, I mean, I'd love to hear more about your role, head of EMEA, but also maybe an introduction as to the product itself, just for the stream, the viewers and the stream, and then maybe we can get into a few more questions.
Yeah, so I lead up the business across Europe and the Middle East. I've been enrolled for 5 months now, and it's been an amazing journey. I used to be at advertising agencies for most of my career before that, and joining Luma's been absolutely fantastic. We're a foundational AI research lab at our heart, so we have some amazing engineers, some physicists, amazing mathematicians, AI researchers. And really, we've been developing a series of products for the last couple of years. And over the last few months, we've reached a point where we can really take those products to market, sitting on top of our foundational model.
Let's go.
Talk to us about world models. We recently saw, obviously, in the FT that Jan LeCun is raising nuts amount of money to kind of build world models. That's the strategy. He says kind of LLMs are like they're going down the wrong direction. I want to ask you guys about that specifically, and then jump a little bit more into the product.
Yeah, so world models or multimodality, this is where you're training on more than one input, right? So early models several years ago would be on text, and then we moved to image and then video. And what we've been doing at Luma is really training on multimodality from the word go. So the business is just under 4 years old. And our founder, Amit, and our founding engineering team, they started attacking this when multimodality wasn't a thing and world models wasn't a thing. But what's really interesting is that last week we had a launch event in San Francisco. We announced our new model, our new generation of models called Uni 1. And these are models that are built on unified intelligence. So this is where most models are rendering prompts. Uni 1 is a reasoning model that can generate and render at the same time. So it's really the sort of next generation of models that we're working on. And that enables output that wasn't achievable on previous models from 3 to 6 months ago. So we're really excited about what we're doing with unified intelligence and the next round of models that are coming to the market.
Let's go, man. It'd be super exciting to work for a company working on this type of stuff today, I imagine. You mentioned you've been there for 5 months, not too long, but what pulled you in?
What pulled me in? No, I mean, it's not every day that, especially someone based in sort of, EMEA, it's not every day that an amazing sort of tech company, Palo Alto based company, knocks on your door. And then from there, the conversations that I had were fascinating, not just with the founding team, but also with the broader company. So our mission's really clear. It's to work on amazing models that can really understand and help in the physical world. We've got amazing people, amazing tech. I said earlier, we've got amazing engineers, amazing researchers. It's just a very different way to thinking. And we've got an amazing product. And when you put all those three things together, it very clearly became not only a great opportunity, but a no-brainer to take the leap and join the company.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And talk to us about the Middle East expansion. What's the thesis behind that? You manage both sides, the Middle East and Europe. What is why that? What's the thesis behind it?
So we launched out of the US into EMEA, and we announced that on the 1st of December. So that was our first international, so launching outside the US. So the key markets that we're looking at this year are the UK, so London. We're looking at Germany. We've got one of our global launch partners for our creative intelligence platform is Service Plan. So we're building a good presence in Germany. France is on the roadmap as well. And then just a couple of weeks ago, we announced our office in Riyadh. We have a very strategic partnership with Humane. They led our Series C, which we announced last year. And we have a very, very close relationship with them, both in terms of compute, in terms of developing our model to be truly Arabic first, and making sure that the output understands that Riyadh and Dubai are very different cities, that Saudi Arabia and the UAE are very different cultures. So we're working very, very hard to make sure that models aren't pushing out generic output that doesn't reason and doesn't understand between the different countries and different cultures, because they're very, very different. Even down to the sand, the color of the sand is different.
Wow, that's insane.
That's insane. We're going into.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so nuts. And I guess there would be. I mean, early days there'll be elements of hallucinations. I guess even with it, right? We see it with LLMs. We see it with like most of the AI tools that we have out. But what is a future for the like multimodal AGI? Like, what is that? Is that the? I mean, Jan LeCun, I guess, is betting that that is the thing. LLM, they have natural limits as to how far we can actually get. Can it actually lead us to AGI? What does the future of this look like? I guess. I mean, this is probably the most cutting edge technology out there right now. I'd say the world models.
Assume so.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, sort of text-based or image-based models alone are not enough to operate at scale in the physical world. We need models that can that understand what is going on and can interact with the real world. So yeah, the future is tremendously exciting. AI is not perfect by any means. We're working very hard to close that gap where we do see imperfections. But no AI is perfect, and it will be quite some time until AI will have 100% perfection. So we're working very, very hard on making sure that we're getting as close to what customers and enterprise brands see as acceptable, and it's that final sort of 5-10% and narrowing that gap, which is where a lot of brain power and a lot of investment is going. We've got customers who have been using AI for quite some time, and it can take them to 90% of the way. Mm-hmm. And what we're really focused on is closing that gap to make sure that they can adopt this and they can scale it, and it realizes the productivity gains that AI has promised for so long.
Yeah. What's the I assume the appetite from kind of inbound and customers specifically is super high. Are you guys working very closely with customers on the kind of R&D side as well? It's like, the deals where you don't almost know what you guys can provide in terms of you can provide, the stuff that you can provide, and then there's that little bit extra, as you were saying. Are you guys working super closely with customers all the time to make sure, you are kind of getting to the frontier all the time with results?
It's exactly that. So I had this saying that I'm sure my team sort of sick and tired of me talking about, but it's we don't want to be sort of developing technology and then just chucking it over the fence and hoping that it gets adopted.
Yeah.
We think that can only take us so far. So we have a group of people who we call forward deployed creatives, and they exist to train and enable not just our customers. And by the way, we are integrating these people into our customers, but also to train and enable the creative community at large. So you're absolutely right. The way that we see not only the adoption of our technology, but the technology being able to deliver against the demands of customers is by putting our engineers and our creatives into the room with our customers, so they're focusing on their challenges, and you just iterate much quicker, you understand the problem much quicker, and we can solve the problem much quicker when we're sitting there side by side with them.
Yeah.
On the flip side is we want our technology and we want our tooling to be absolutely loved by the creative community. And again, we don't think that just selling subscriptions and doing mass awareness is enough. We're going to be really focusing on getting people into rooms, offering training, offering enablement to the creative community at large. So more news on that later this year. But we'd love to, we really want to help people upskill and realize the opportunity with AI.
Yeah. Talk to us about the future of the creative economy in terms of, I guess, using a product like Luma as a creative partner. How do you see the role of someone working in the creative industry kind of changing with these world models that are literally at the frontier of kind of technology?
So firstly, the people who love our tool the most, it's not the CFO. And there's a big narrative out there that CFOs love AI because it's going to realize huge, savings. And that's a very sort of rational and sensible approach, and absolutely there's benefit there. But the people who actually love our tool the most and love our model the most are the creatives. So when we get people trained and when we get them into our system, the feedback is just amazing. The utilization is amazing, and their usage grows over time. And we've got people who are able to do creative work that just wasn't possible, either because of the amount of time it would take, the amount of money it would take, or the amount of resources in terms of personnel it would take. So the way that I really believe that we're going to be entering a fantastic era for creativity, a creative renaissance for people who really want to embrace technology and be at the forefront of embracing technology. And it's for exactly that reason that we want to be there, not only with enterprise customers, but with the creative community at large, and helping them adopt and upskill. Because if we don't help them upskill, we're not going to help them embrace the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. It's been like but historically, modern historically, like a hard thing to marry, really, right? The creative world and then also like the AI and agentic world. Like people initially when these developments started coming out, I think people were slightly scared, or like things like DALL-E, like these image generation models and AI copywriters, right? People were a little bit worried, like, what's this AI going to do to the creative world? Is it all just going to be slop? I think now we've come into the period in which that a lot of people are understanding that these tools can be incredibly helpful and turn a creator into a 10x creator, or like turn a single creator into a team of creators. And I guess like specifically within that, you guys have got suites like, I was looking at your website yesterday, like the creative agent specifically. Is that been well received? Like, are these just like an agent swarms running around within your design project? Like, how are those being received?
So our creative agents, so our creative intelligence platform that again we launched, we announced it publicly last week. We've had enterprise partners, say thousands of people, all the way down to boutique creative agencies and individual creatives, all in it for several months in early access mode. And what it does is it's like having a creative partner that doesn't sleep, doesn't take vacation, will work weekends, and you can take. It's not just a production tool. It's not just about scaling your content. It is a full creative end-to-end workflow. So you can take an idea that you dreamt of in the night, or the grain of an idea in your imagination, you can blow it up into a full campaign or into a movie, short form movie, long form movie in hours. And where we're seeing amazing results on the enterprise side, for example, is that there's going to be a creative who knows a brand inside out, knows it intimately, and they have an idea. They can get the idea, make it campaign ready, show it to the CMO, show it to the customer. The customer can approve it straight away, and then you can have something live in a day, if not less. And the cost is just the cost of compute. So we don't need sort of expensive shoots. We don't need to be flying people all around the world. It is the cost of compute, and you can get it out there in a day when the customer's integrated in. So it's really transformational, and it's really exciting. And I look forward to sort of sharing with you guys the journey over the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, open seat whenever you want to come back on. I've got so many more questions, but we're out of time. We have our next guest on. Thank you so much. Really great to meet you. And keep us updated with everything. We'd love to have you back on.
Next launch, come on the show. We can
let's do it. Thanks for your time. Really enjoy the show. And look forward to chatting again.
Nice one, Jason. Have a good one.
See you soon.
Ciao.
Awesome stuff. We have our next guest on now. But before that, Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market. Stay informed and profit from your knowledge. Here we go. We have Jason in the room. Sorry, James in the room. Can you hear us?
James, how are we? Co-founder and CEO of Ethos. We were just talking about your platform this morning. Luke has personally been wowed by this. We were looking at your launch video from, it was 9 months ago, the one that I was looking on. I think it was on LinkedIn. Do you maybe want to intro yourself and Ethos, the platform, just to kick us off, and then we can go from there?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm James. I'm founder and CEO of Ethos. We essentially match people to economic opportunities with AI. So if you go on a platform, you can actually talk to the Ethos voice agent. It'll learn your expertise, your edge, your skills, workflows, stuff like that. And then it'll match you to opportunities all the way. And it's not just jobs. So you go all the way from like AI data training projects to market research surveys to speaking opportunities and fractional stuff to full-time roles. And so the idea is that the future of work is not going to be just about jobs. It's going to be all kinds of ways to monetize your expertise. And here we're using AI to match you to infinite opportunities without needing to do applications endlessly ever again. So that's what we do.
I said this morning, if I wasn't working on ETN, I'd be like banging your door to get a job, because I think it's genuinely such a cool, such a sick idea. I love it. I wanted to talk first off on what you see like the future of agents and knowledge retrieval kind of being. What do you see, pretty, I guess, high level, where do you see the future of knowledge retrieval going, 2026, but then also further?
Yeah, for sure. So I think what's happening right now is you've got the whole AI industry talking about replacing humans, right? So people are like, hey, we're going to have a slice of the labor market. What they actually mean is every dollar of revenue is taking it away from like the earnings of human beings, right? And so we're looking at that going, this is incredibly depressing. And what actually really matters is not only the jobs that people do, but actually the skills and workflows in their mind. And even the taste, their preferences, their opinions, their networks are actually incredibly valuable. And when you look at stuff like LinkedIn today, it's not actually collecting the type of data that you need, right? It's just a CV. It's not actually the stuff that's in your head, right? And so we really need platforms that can actually capture that and then help you monetize it. And where we see this going is, a lot of the things that happen, let's say in an interview where you ask someone about a workflow, like how they do a job and what their opinions are about products and stuff like this, could turn into many different ways to monetize, right? So you could sell those skills and workflows to AI labs and vertical AI companies trying to train vertical models. You could sell their opinions for products into buyer intelligence, seller intelligence, investment due diligence, and so on and so forth. And it turns into a way for you to make both active income in projects and passive income over time all the way, right? And so that's where we see the future, where you have a digital mind that basically constantly makes you money as you grow. And so it would be pretty cool to make your mind basically truly scalable like that.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. I wanted to ask also about the, do you find that, I guess, the future of work being just free agents working, and it just be a whole network of people kind of just giving, I guess, knowledge and everything else in between?
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be purely agents. I think what's going to happen is the act of finding both agents and humans is going to become increasingly similar, right? Because when you look at the company's perspective, what they want is no longer like, I want to hire this person. It's actually, I need this capability now. And that capability could be fulfilled either by an agent or by a human. And sometimes you need a human for accountability. You need a human for their tastes and opinions for whatever reason. And so what we think is going to happen is you're going to have a giant network of humanity where all of their knowledge and expertise is searchable and instantly insertable into agents. So you can literally just be like, I need this capability right now. Boom, you can insert an agent that can actually do that actually has well-sourced stuff from the experts who provided that data or earn them passive income. And then when you need a person, either to check the work or to actually do additional work or lead the work or manage the work, you can instantly match to the experts who are best placed to do that as well, right? So the agent and human economy is going to merge together.
So this is like a fractional monetization of human beings' skill set in a cool way.
Yeah, so it's interesting because today we're like, is there full-time jobs, is there fractional jobs, is there like side gigs, so on and so forth. And I think actually what's going to end up happening is this is all going to be one thing, right? We have these knowledges and skills in our head. We have a network with all these things incredibly valuable, and we're going to end up like monetizing it in one singular place with a digital mind that scales. So.
Yeah. And you guys have, you're on an absolute tear. You want to maybe tell us some of the growth stats? Because from what we have down, it's like 10x ARR.
In 3 months.
You've raised from GC, like friends of the show, amazing team, 8 VC conviction. Want to walk us through some of this? Because it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So, we've 10x'd in the last 3 months. We're bringing on, so last week we brought on around 5,000 experts. This week we're trending around 14,000 experts. It's actually gone a little bit further up since yesterday's launch as well. So just tons of people. And this is not just like any person, right? So like, we literally have like, chief compliance officers of global law firms. We have like hundreds of Magic Circle white shoe lawyers, like MBB consultants, bulge bracket investment bankers. And they also get like, people running electrician companies and people running plumbing companies, so on and so forth. And what's very interesting is that the universal common thing here is, the current platforms are not collecting the right data on them, right? So like you go all the way from a lawyer who's like, I want to showcase the clients I worked on, the types of cases I work on, right? All the way to a plumber who's like, I want to tell people like the types of equipment that I actually work with, and the types of homes I actually deal with, right? And suddenly all the unstructured data that was sitting on the public web, that put on the website and all kinds of stuff like that, we can now structure with LLMs and turn it like into something completely searchable and actually make the money with it. And so it's super interesting to just see like all these experts joining, really, really fast all across the board.
No way. What's the growth play that you guys are using? Have you got a growth guy? Like you guys are...
No, we haven't. So these are our growth guys. So it's like, we are, a full-blown engineering team, only engineers. We're just joking that, Robbie on our team has become a reluctant talent engineer because he's like recruiter and sales and customer support and technical. But we basically try to automate every single thing in the company, right? So like literally, all the way from the recruiting of experts, the onboarding, the screening, the matching, the project management. Every time we have to do something manually, we then build it into our agents, then automate it from there. And so it's been a pretty interesting to see an AI native approach to this.
Wow. And it's growing organically. This is just scaling, I guess.
Yeah, so it's all through direct outreach. So we do direct outreach to experts to join this, and then we give them referral deals, for every expert that comes. So they literally make like 20% of the earnings for the first year of every person they refer. And so you see these super interesting things where, yesterday we were talking to a medical doctor who runs these lecture series for helping people get through their qualifying exams. And he's actually referring like every person who attends his lectures. He's like sending all his medical doctors in his hospital to like join, right? And so it's pretty organically growing from there.
Mad, Luke.
Wow.
It's so cool.
That's
so cool.
That's really cool.
Talk to us about, you mentioned how you guys are using agents, but you can see more people, obviously like OpenClaw is being a thing, everything else in between. Talk to us about building this on a company level, because you can see like the solopreneur kind of building stuff with OpenClaw and building their own, I guess, like, $1 billion solo company or whatever. But talk to us about it on a company level, how you guys look at agents to kind of use. Is it literally like, if this comes across my desk twice, I automate it? How do you think about it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the way we think about it is, we only hire ICs. We're super flat, right? everybody's working on something, building something to solve the problem. So it isn't just like doing the task, it's actually just building the internal tools to do it. One of the interesting things about the business model is that, yes, there's a client-facing product, right, for matching people, for the experts to see opportunities and so on. But actually, there's a huge amount of product that's internal-facing, right? And so it's all the way from, how do we assess the candidates? How do we push them through the systems, so on and so forth. And what's really beneficial about that is, we literally can't just like build stuff in like 15 minutes or like an hour to like automate a new process, right? And we can just like be like, oh, this client wants this. Okay, cool. We'll just build a whole internal tooling for it. And because it doesn't have to be client facing, we could just keep like building and failing and building and failing until the internal process works. And so in some ways, like obviously Sequoia just had their recent like services as the new software thing. And I think it's a little bit like that, where we are ultimately a services business that's delivering you, human intelligence, but we're benefiting from all the latest AI stuff internally as a company.
Wow. And is there I'm trying to say, it's like B2C focused right now. Is there a world where this can be like, could you get like enterprise signups on one hand, I guess, that are trying to fractionally hire for a particular skill set?
I was going to ask about like GLG, right? Or alpha sites, right? I assume there's regulation, but if like an investment banker is using GLG to talk to an expert or whatever, or someone in private equity, like I don't actually know the process in terms of regulation, the back end. But how does that work when you're working with a company, as Ronan mentioned?
Yeah, so we actually, so while we are B2C focused in terms of onboarding experts, we're very much a B2B company in terms of our revenue, right? And so we sell to foundational AI labs to source experts. We sell to hedge funds, private equity funds, consultancy for experts in market research. And so we absolutely do those things. And I think, when you look at this, all these enterprises are constantly looking for very fast access to human intelligence. And I'll just take that GLG example for a moment. The typical, process takes something like 3 to 4 weeks to get like sufficient experts to do this. And now suddenly what we can do is, source the experts instantaneously because you can just like see the results from AI. You could ping them with a voice agent. They get pinged on WhatsApp to talk to the voice agent, and then boom, the results come in, right? So it's pretty magical. Within 24 hours, you can get insight. You can actually do it right now on the agent on our website as well. So it's
surely you've got like PE investors being like, guys, you gotta, I'll give you like any money because, as a PE investor, you have to, any bit of alpha is, for any investor, but any bit of alpha for a PE person, because they're so price insensitive, surely they're just giving you so much money to gain an advantage against their competitors to win some deals.
Yeah, for sure. We get approached by like PE, by hedge funds all the time. And you actually see this completely different use cases where, obviously private equity wants to get like niche experts and get them really fast. And then you would get like consultancies that come to us and say, hey, I want to do market research, but I want to do like 100 people. I want to do it like, on a monthly or weekly basis. Then you would hedge funds trying to build benchmarks, but literally just going, I want to ping like, 100 people every single quarter asking the same set of questions and see how the benchmarks change. So the access to human intelligence is a massive market in general.
Wow. And in a way it's, I get they find out about the tool and then they will bring the use cases to you, right? So like you've outsourced the problem of finding, the GTM motion is flowing into you. And then I guess you can, if one hedge fund wants this and it's working, pick it up, go to another hedge fund. Hey, look, wow.
Yeah. And
blown away, James.
It's super interesting, right? Like you do expert data projects for, let's say, a bunch of lawyers. And then suddenly you can use the same lawyers for like investment due diligence on legal AI companies because all of them are using Harvey and Legora and all those things, right? Yeah. And so you can literally reuse the same panels people continually. And I think the big unlock for us when we looked at this business was like people are segmenting into completely different verticals for no reason. They have like recruiting and market research and then investment research and expert networks and blah, blah, blah. But fundamentally, it's just about access to human intelligence at scale. And AI has allowed you to do all of that with one platform, right? And that's essentially what we're trying to do here.
And I guess even with like a traditional hire, there's an element of waste, skill set waste attributed to that job that, maybe 5-10 years ago, I find a job and I want to apply to it. Out of the 10 bullet points, I can do maybe 6 of them, but there's also another sort of like 5 to 8 skills that I have that aren't on the job description that are kind of being wasted in a way, right? Like that's an interesting sort of premise, I guess, within like it's making people's skills more efficient in a weird way, or the matching of that, or the equilibrium they find in the labor market, maybe.
You're absolutely right. And one critical piece there is it's also things you don't want to be public, right? right? So you don't want to tell everybody you're looking for a job. You don't want to tell everybody all of your skills and workflows on like a public CV, like a LinkedIn profile. And so what AI has made possible is for you to privately share that with an AI agent and then be matched to opportunities in a private network. And that's incredibly valuable. And on the other end, when you think about it in the recruiter's perspective, it's also the same. The best jobs never go through the public job boards, right? They're always private direct hires. And here the recruiters can post the opportunity. It doesn't go to everybody. It curates with AI and then surfaces it to the people most relevant. And so suddenly you could actually, get much better matching with AI in a private environment.
Mad.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
It's one of the maddest. One of the maddest.
Yeah, James, it's genuinely it's been one of the best conversations we've had on the show so far in the past 5 months. I really appreciate you coming on. Keep us updated with everything, and open seat whenever you want to come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's awesome.
No, anytime.
Good stuff. We'll see you soon. Great to meet you.
Here, guys.
Cheers. Go well. That was nuts.
Company.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Talking about another beast of a company, Framer, build better sites faster. The all-in-one platform where enterprise teams design, build, and ship production-ready websites. No dev handoff, no bottlenecks, no creative compromises. Go to framer.com/ETN. James Lowe. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, really interesting.
Team is like 5 people as well.
Because surely that will be the meta with any sort of like recruitment AI vertical, right? Like.
Yeah, but we've never spoken to / I've never seen someone commoditizing knowledge in such a high integrity way as well. Like
it kind of like puts me, because I saw
like the connection and all of that kind of stuff, like, that kind of world, like private connectors and all of that kind of stuff have, they have that stigma around them, right? And they're just doing it in such a like high integrity way. It's
really cool. I saw they launched yesterday. I think it's one of the most nuts companies I've seen in a while. But they are allowing you to sell video to like training companies, basically. So like you just strap a GoPro to your wrist or whatever. You walk around with it all day. You can sell that training data to like an AI lab or something like that. So they've built a platform that lets you sell your videos for cash. And in a weird way, it's kind of the same, like they're commoditizing this small aspect of something that's not typically commoditized.
I think the thing that's most interesting and that won't it's most interesting and it hasn't quite caught up yet is the job side, where it's like jobs dying, whatever, but you can just outsource your knowledge to privately, but also like in a bubble in a private network. Super clever. Anyway, next on the show we have Alexander Fitzgerald, founder and CEO of Isambard. Alexander, can you hear us?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Dude, awesome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No, our absolute pleasure. Congratulations on your recent announcement, the Series A, 50 million. How did the launch go? How did that day go?
Yeah, the amount of applications we got in the 24 hours afterwards was kind of insane. So we had to build some new automations just to manage it and do some screening, which is always good. But really good. I think it's a fundamentally a testament to the team we're building here.
Let's go. And I guess for the listeners at home, maybe an intro on, I guess we kind of skipped it, an intro on yourself and Isambard as well. Like, what does the company do? What are you guys focused on? And we can go from there.
Yeah, so Isambard is the manufacturer for critical industries. So the problem we're solving is at the moment, whether you're SpaceX or Rolls-Royce, you may design, assemble, and use or sell your product. But the actual individual components that you in your product are all made by your supply chain, and that's actually the industrial base. But the existential threat right now for the West, in Europe, but also in the US, is that this long tail of tens of thousands of small businesses which make these components are retiring. And so you're getting this weird thing where demand is spiking while the supply manufacturing capacity is reducing. And we didn't see anyone going to be able to solve that huge existential problem for the West until Isambard. So Isambard is a manufacturer. We make components for the most important companies in the West today. But we do it a bit differently from a typical kind of contract manufacturer as you'd see in like a business park across the UK or the US. So we focus on a few types of manufacturing methods. So using these things called CNC machines and other machines to make the components. But what makes us different from a typical one of those shops is really two things. It's technology plus business model. So on the technology front, we build our own software and AI to make our factories more efficient. That enables us to deliver faster product to the customers, cheaper and really high quality, and crucially at scale. And the other core difference is our business model, because we own and operate our own factories, but we also scale up the number of factories with a franchise business model. So we find franchisees and give them our technology, our brand, demand from larger customers, and our accreditations. So we only started in January last year, where I'm today, so factory in Park Royal in London with our first factory. We're now at 6 factories, 3 in the UK and 3 in the US, and we'll get to 25 by the end of this year. Majority in the UK and the US, but also launching into Germany, France, and Ukraine as well.
Awesome! What it's
a crazy scale, right?
Yeah, what's that? It's cool. I wanted to.
There's a lot of caffeine drunk.
So that, yeah. What is that? A can of Coke?
Yeah, Coke Zero.
There you go.
Got to watch the waistline.
I wanted to ask about your thoughts on you mentioned the industrial base and what kind of outsourcing the industrial base to other parts of the world, and how AI agents or agentic AI is going to kind of save the West. Talk to us a little bit more about that. I'm super interested about kind of your kind of take on that and your opinions.
Yeah, so I think there's been this false thing where we think of manufacturing as this thing that happens in these big sheds where things get like glued together or assembled together. But that assembly is actually a very small percentage of the total gross value add of manufacturing in the economy. Yeah, it's mostly actually done. The gross value add is in the supply chain. It's why when any large company announces a factory in any country, in any like location, the actual impact on jobs, the economy is actually wider than that, because it's all the things that enable that to happen, whether it's the components or anything else. So I think the real thing we've seen in manufacturing is for a human pursuit that's been around since like we've picked up tools and made them, like how badly served it is by software and AI. And that's because like the core problem in manufacturing is it's a huge orchestration challenge, and very few companies actually experience scale. Like you can make a prototype, you can glue stuff together with like Bamboo Labs printers, you can buy out commercial off-shelf components, but to really scale, that's really where the hard things happen. And that's where we focus our like effort, and what we're doing for some of the most important companies in Europe and the US today are enabling them to go from prototype to scale production really fast and really efficiently.
Mm-hmm. Really cool.
I saw that you said before manufacturing is the origin of our security. I wanted to ask kind of how much is the work focused on this like geopolitical shift we're seeing of building for sovereign AI and everything specifically in the UK, I guess. Where do you see your work kind of focusing particularly on that?
Yeah, so like the very first page of our very first investor deck was I disagree with most things Vladimir Putin says, but there's one thing I agree with him on, and that's we've entered a multipolar world. And there are so many, and that was the first slide. Like the first slide was we've entered a multipolar world. And there are various like consequences of that. One is like an increased spend on critical industries in terms of defense, aerospace, energy, everything. Then there's like obviously more reshoring of supply chains and the requirement, not just from a speed perspective, but also from a threat perspective. But I think the thing that's spoken about or underappreciated is like no one exists in a bubble. Like people don't exist in a bubble. The most talented engineers don't exist in a bubble. The most talented operators don't exist in a bubble. And like if you're working on like, I don't know, making software for lawyers 10 basis points more efficient, like that's maybe a useful use of your life, but I think there are much more important things to solve in this world. And like the opportunity to do that is for us the most fulfilling thing, because the level of talent you can attract to solve some of the hardest problems in engineering is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's really, it's reminiscent of I think it's Founders Fund that have this like choose hard missions manifesto story, like based off your skill set. If one is able to take on such a hard challenge and they go and focus on building like an AI note take app, then it's like you've done a misservice to the world. Like you've misallocated your own value, and that's like unfair on the planet, because those skills are like owed to doing hard things that can, whether it's reindustrializing the West or like building national sovereignty.
I think any business is hard. Like, you might as well pick the most important things. And like, funnily enough, it's like a rallying cry. Like, if you have an actual important mission, like you ask yourself in the deepest, darkest moments of like having a shower on the toilet or whatever, like, what am I doing with my life? Is it actually useful? Is it like increasing like my society's security and my increasing human prosperity? Like, people have a sense of conscience. And I think there's another thing, actually. It's like kind of a bit of a tangent, but children are like actually a really good like arbiter of what is useful in the world. Like, if a child finds something cool, I think there is something really powerful in that, and that's where you actually it's the classic like granny question. Explain your business to your grandmother. If she can understand it and thinks it's good, it's probably good. If she doesn't quite, if you're making like workforce training software for large corporates into transformation projects, like maybe she doesn't think it's quite as useful, and I probably agree with that.
That's a good way to do it. I love that analogy. That's so cool.
That's really cool. Sorry, go on.
I wanted to ask about hiring and about your. So we had the guys at Nominal on the show the other day, and they were talking about hiring mission-driven people. It kind of is a nice segue from what we were just talking about finding people that are mission driven. What do you look for when you're kind of like hiring, and how do you feel that is, how important do you feel like that is for you guys getting to the kind of end of the mission for you?
Yeah, I think what people talk a lot about, either if they join Isambard or they don't, is that like our process is fairly unique. So on one sense, we always hire, but also we're never hiring. And we kind of reverse hire in the sense of, often traditionally you write a job description, try and find someone who matches that job description. Fundamentally, humans are unique and everyone has their own spikes. And actually what you want to do is focus on the spikes and double down on them. So we kind of have a reverse method where we find brilliant people and then actually just construct job descriptions around them. So we work with them during the selection process about like, let's write a job description, let's write a role around you and your skills and see whether that fits the pains of the business. And then I suppose the other thing to say is like, we have like our process is, a bunch of calls, either with myself or some of the team and other members of the team. But the final stage is like the in-factory assessment day. And that's like a fairly unique thing where people come in, do a practical task, like an actual problem we're solving, we'll work on it together, then meet all the different parts of the business. So meet like the franchise team, the factory team, the software team, the BD sales team. But then the final stage, we call it it's fairly unique, we call it the star chamber. So people have 10 minutes, no slides, they come up to, everyone stops work at the factory, comes into one room, and then the person introduces themselves. They have a couple of minutes to introduce a bit about their background, why Isambard and why the role, and then it's a two-way Q&A. So they ask us really hard questions and we ask them really hard questions. And what that means is that like, because it's this final moment, it's that kind of forum kind of enforces truthfulness, but also you really find out, find people out. And I think it's like another thing of people, you spend a lot of time when you're maybe if you raise venture or raise investment, like uncovering every stone for investors, but actually like the human beings who are working at the business, this is the most important thing. Like an investor will maybe think about you 2% of their working hours, whereas everyone else is much more than that. So we think like that's probably one of the most unique things about our like selection process.
I love it. That's so interesting.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I remember talking about to a founder who was the way that they interviewed was they would ask the candidate what's the thing, tell me for 10 minutes what the thing that you're most obsessed about. And like if they have, I don't know, if they're like going for a job in software or whatever and they're like, oh, I love the history of the UK, and you can talk for 10 minutes about that, it's like, okay, that guy or girl can get super obsessed about something, therefore they have an obsessive personality, and if I can get them obsessed about building my company, that's like the biggest thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Within that, the last point you mentioned there, this star chamber, I think you called it, which is awesome name, by the way. We've mentioned it a little bit, like the mission side of stuff. Like what you guys are doing is incredibly hard. I mean, I'm only now realizing as we're having this conversation how many different areas of the company there are. Right? You mentioned the franchise team, the BD team, the sales team, the software team, the hardware team. The fact that you have a factory as well. Like it's just an insanely hard thing to choose to do with those people that are coming in on this. Like, do you have to kind of screen for the mission as well? Like, is there a mission part of that conversation where they're like, yes, I'm locked in on this?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what we screen for in the first couple of interviews in terms of like what drives someone, why are they even interested in Isambard. I think like we in that star chamber, it's where it often all comes out. Like we ask really hard questions like, what is our moral duty as a company working in defense? Like where is our moral boundaries? Like, yes, there are legals, but does morality play a part in it? And I think it does. But other questions like and then people ask us hard questions like if someone asks the question, it's easy on a one-to-one interview, like what's the biggest pain point in the business, and people can say anything, but the very fact of if you're in that forum where people can like actually tell the real truths, I think that's a really powerful thing to where someone joining a business can really understand like truth.
Yeah. Super interesting. Such a unique way to I guess it's like has anyone like drastically failed the star chamber yet?
I think like people who there was one candidate who you can see like certain not cultural but like things where they maybe like interject when someone's not even finished a question, or have very flippant answers where they haven't really thought hard about something. Now we always have to modulate that versus it's a fairly high pressure environment where you've got like, I don't know, 20 people all looking at the same point. But again, it's also equal in that they're asking us hard questions as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I can imagine.
I feel like we've gone on mad tangents. We haven't properly spoken about it, but look, we're out of time. We have a next guest in the waiting room. Thank you so much for joining. You'll have to come back on to talk more about the company specifically. I apologize for going on some mad tangents, but keep us updated.
Alex, thank you so much. This has been really fun.
Good stuff.
Right.
See you soon.
Have a good one, dude. Ciao.
Awesome stuff. Before we have GRITCULT on the show, leave outdated business banking behind with Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business, multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com. I think we have GRITCULT.
The GRITCULT trumpets have been sound. We're waiting.
Are we
in? Are we in?
I am in.
No way. Hello, GRITCULT. This is our first anonymous interview ever. So thank you for doing this with us.
No worries, it's a pleasure.
It's an absolute pleasure. I guess, I mean, the thing we're all here to talk about is the bull case for London, London maxing as well. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the article that you wrote? I mean, it kind of kickstarted the recent London maxing sort of hype, if you will, on X.
Yeah, so that article really came to existence when I just kind of saw a lot of positive things about London on the timeline, a lot of AI companies kind of moving. And then, there's always been this narrative for the last few years, probably by a Dubai cabal, kind of like demonizing London and, saying a lot of negative things about it. It's like doomsday scenario, apocalypse scenarios about London. And that's just not the truth on the ground. People are having fun, smiling, loving each other in a certain way. So, and I've been seeing a lot of kind of trends emerging in tech, energy, etc. And I've been kind of thinking about this for a while, that like the UK is kind of positioned in a way where like there could be a really good situation coming that no one else is kind of talking about. It's not a popular narrative. So it's a combination of those two things, like seeing the AI labs coming, we're moving into more of a multipolar world, and then I like things I've been thinking about for a while. I wanted to like put down on paper, so that's where the article kind of came about.
Oh, awesome. Well, it did the rounds. We I mean, it's one of the reasons. I mean, that's one of the only reasons.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to chat to you because we do feel that it kind of, there were a few things happening at the same time. Whether it was like the Vercel meetup, I think did a lot of work for it. There were a few announcements about like Anthropic. Are they gonna, Sadiq Khan's invited Anthropic over to London. So there were just a few consistent sort of London associated tech relevant things that were happening. What is it that sort of like, I don't know, you mentioned the AI labs as well, but like, is there something you mentioned on the ground? Like, is there a vibe shift that you can feel? Like people are saying that the personality of the individuals is becoming a little bit more optimistic as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. So right now, if you go to Luma and then click London, there'll be an event every single day, multiple events. Yesterday, there was Vercel, Base, Wintermute. So like, I'm in I come from a crypto background, working crypto AI company now, but like, yeah, like every day there's an event out, like there's people out there, there's hackathons going on every week, multiple a week. So that's been a big vibe shift from like 10 years ago where everyone's trying to go into finance and, like managing like, family offices, etc. So there's been a huge shift from, instead of just being like research, we're actually doing applications, we're doing startups, and there is like, there's more like feel like VCs are a lot more kind of, trying to attract more people to kind of come here. And there is an establishment of a pipeline. Instead of going into finance, now it's like going into tech from, Oxbridge or all the other kind of good unions as well. So that's the like vibe on the ground. And then yesterday I was out about in London as well. And look, everyone's down to like that, meet up, discuss ideas. And there is such a huge melting pot of different ideas that's not really being talked about. And that's what I was trying to like, paint a picture whereby like you have the fashion industry, you have art industry, you have, film studios setting up here. You also have tech, you have all these like, like 20 unis in London, I don't know how many. So there's all these different vectors kind of coming in, whereas in a lot of other cities, it's like a monoculture. So in like UK in general, like, you could travel 30 minutes and people are speaking a different accent. You don't know, can't understand them as well. You've got a different word for bread. They eat baked beans and stuff. So like in London, that's also apparent, like North London culture versus South, East, West, etc. So that's like a huge kind of thing that's like no one's talking about either.
Yeah.
I wanted to change the subject a little bit, but not hugely. On one of your tweets, posted on March 7th, quote tweeting someone who said, "Is 27 too late to start my life over?" And you kind of listed all these amazing people, and you said, you're 27, it's never over, and you've barely even started. Talk to us about, kind of, I guess, linking a little bit to kind of London vaccine. There's so many young people here building some cool things. I think the community is really just, 10xing, 100xing all the time. It's great. And they're young, right? They're super on the ground. They're always online, all of this kind of stuff. Talk to us about the opportunity that, that you can go and build something amazing from a city like London.
Yeah, there's huge amounts of opportunity, and I think with like Twitter, social media, I think that's also kind of like increasing and accelerating that kind of growth. So one piece of advice I always give to people is no matter what you do or whatever you're building, you should always try to build something with like a social presence and just like talk to more people. So I think London is great for that because we do have the like train times, whatever, like it may like take X amount of time, but it's still bad in a lot of other like large areas. You can go from like Old Street to Mayfair in like 20 minutes, whatever, on an optimal kind of day, and like the kind of vibe shift is like changing. The people that you're talking to is different, and I think that aspect is important because if you're in a monoculture, there will be like you're going to kind of like follow the trend and you're going to basically, like lose alpha, lose edge. Whereas if you are kind of talking to also different people, you'll be able to like connect the dots and like, be able to like bootstrap a network a lot quicker. So anyone who's young, I would suggest is just go to events, network events. If it's going to be awkward at first, but you'll get the hang of it. And then, just have fun and kind of build things. And in terms of like doomerism, I'm just like, a lot of my tweets are like 100% against doomerism. I think you should always try to like be optimistic because when you're building something, you need to have that like latent optimism in you. And you need to have the ability to see a vision of a future that's better than the current present, environment. So I think a lot of people do need to have that mindset shift. And I think that's happening in London. I think it's also happening in Manchester as well, small enclaves. And I think it's partly due to like, the internet just kind of giving access to, a lot more opinions, a lot more kind of like, oh shit, he can do it, I can do it. And that's another reason why to come into London, is because like all these different people from different backgrounds, having like various levels of success that you can actually, like they may be retarded, but you can like, do it as well.
Yeah. Talk about being online. I wanted to ask specifically to you about writing online, getting your thoughts out there. And obviously you mentioned that, when building a company, there's no better thing to do than just to be out there online specifically. Talk to us about, because your tweets, I think, you're one of my favorite X accounts, because your tweets are just very succinct in a way that, I can just get very high level information, but very high quality information very quickly, and it's great. And I love that about the account. I wanted to ask about when you think of an idea or when you have something in your brain, how do you then just put it down on paper? Is it literally just a case of sitting down and getting it down on paper? Or is it like have you got a process? What's your advice about writing online?
I say quantity is a quality of its own. So you need to put in the reps. I've probably done over 100,000 posts altogether. In terms of threads and articles, I've probably written over 500 since I started. So and like I was like shit at English at school. I hated it. But then like I knew that like if I want to get good at Twitter, if I want to get good at a lot of other skills, like being able to write and think cogently is a skill. That's going to be needed like an extreme amount. And I think what we're seeing with like AI basically driving a lot of execution, like being able to think in a clear linear manner, is extremely valuable. So, I mean, the number one piece of advice I would give is just like post more, follow more people, talk to more people, and like actually try to get better. A lot of people just kind of stop at step one of like posting, but like you actually need to like actually try to improve. And then review tweets and think about it, and just be extremely online. That's the like number one needle moving kind of thing. I would say like with like any kind of skill, like reps are an incredible thing to kind of chase as a KPI, because so many things you learn from that aspect.
Hiya. Can you maybe chat to us a little bit about, you mentioned that you work in the crypto industry at the moment. What is happening? I assume you're obviously based in London. Like, what's happening in the crypto scene in the UK? It's not something that I guess we're too plugged into.
It's a bit of a mixed bag. There has been movement in terms of regulation and like transparency. HMRC have recently, like I think coming this April, have like put into legislation where you have to apply like claim, like you can claim tags for stuff, crypto transactions. There's been some movement regarding like stablecoin regulation and infrastructure. That being said, it's still kind of like a kind of gray area, but I think what will happen is the stablecoin thing will kind of like take over, and it will just become a very kind of normalized thing. There's also, so what we're also seeing as a larger trend is like I've got an actual term, like treasury companies, right? So treasury companies are a public stock company where that company specifically buys a specific crypto asset. And so that's one way you can actually invest in things tax-free into crypto. So that's already there. So, and then the other like positive aspect is that there's a huge amount of crypto people in London. Base, Coinbase, a lot of other companies. There's Encode. They've got like a co-working space. So there's a huge bubbling, crypto community here, and it's great. And so that's where I'm seeing that there has been some setbacks, kind of granted. And I think that's a problem larger with crypto as a like technology in general, rather than like anything specific to us. Like across the entire industry, like the amount of like developers actually has decreased. I think a lot of people are pivoting to AI and all these other kind of things. And I think that's mainly due to this new technology, like struggling to kind of find like a lot of PMF in certain aspects. And in some respects, it's very kind of nascent still. Like only now are companies starting to build stablecoin rails, even though like technically a lot of the infrastructure has been built for like 10 years. So yeah.
Yeah. It seems like I guess the agentic agentic commerce world has kind of accelerated people's I guess decision making process a little bit to try and not miss out on capturing any of the value of that world. Interesting. We've got about a minute left. Are you where are you? Are you in a restaurant right now? I mean, I know you can't actually say, but I can hear I don't know, is it a fork clanging?
Maybe I'm just working from like a cafe / gym area.
Love it. I wanted to ask a question.
Good.
What's the reason for being anonymous? You know, you've got, I guess you've kind of got two sides on X specifically. There are more anonymous accounts on X than I guess any other social platform, but also you've got personal brands as well, right? What's the thesis? There's two strands to this. So one strand is it kind of came from early crypto culture. So I think what a lot of people kind of miss about crypto is that there is almost a crypto anarchist kind of culture that stems through, Bitcoin via Satoshi Nakamoto. He was anonymous. So, and privacy as a human right. That's very cypherpunk, etched as a culture. That's one aspect. The other aspect is pretty cool. It's pretty funny. Kind of builds mystique. So I'm kind of playing into that, and I'm having fun with it, to be honest. I mean, look, I go to events. I go to events, and I tell people, this is me. I don't really care too much, but seeing their reaction is pretty funny. So because they're like, oh my god, you're GRITCULT.
Wait, so you do dox yourself sometimes, if it's right.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, fair. That's super interesting.
I love it.
We'll have to do an event, and you have to dox yourself.
Yeah. The next ETN event, you have to come by and just drop it on us that you're GRITCULT. That'd be cool.
I will. When you least expect it, I'll be there.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, dude. We appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day.
You too, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, man.
See you soon.
Thank you, GRITCULT. Such a legend. That's awesome.
That is the end of the show. Final thing. Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market. Stay informed and profit from your knowledge. Look at that beautiful Chiron down there. It's pretty cool. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us on this fine Thursday. We'll see you next week on Tuesday. See you soon.
Special day.